Find out which songs mean so much to Lainey Wilson, David Byrne and Jacinda Ardern in brand new Take 5. With me, Zan Rowe.
Best thing you'll ever hear.
Starts Thursday, August 20 on ABC TV and ABC iView.
ABC Sport.
On ABC Sport, this is the AFL.
The $1 million man for the Gold Coast Suns. Andrew, kick on goal, scores are level.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest. Don't get better than this.
This is Houston, hard up against the boundary. That is magnificent. Off balance, he's curling it towards goal. That is marvellous.
See, 'cause it don't get better than this.
Let's fly from 52 and rides it all the way home. To close, the Cats have it again. It comes to Dangerfield. He's been everywhere. Down to side bottom, doing what needs to be done.
Welcome to the 2026 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport. On radio, on digital and ABC Listen.
You take a seat, 'cause it don't get better than this.
Docklands for its first and only match under the roof against North Melbourne this afternoon. The Cats are playing North, an opposition many players in the side have not lost against across their careers. Geelong has won the past 15 consecutively, stemming back to 2016, and those wins have come by an average of 49 points. These two sides, though, last met in round 8. That was up at Cardinia Park, and North Melbourne were within 11 points early in the final term before the Cats went on a run and ended up winning by 49 points. Perhaps North Melbourne will be buoyed by the fact that they knocked off the Western Bulldogs last Thursday. They broke a string of 9 consecutive losses at the helm of the Dogs. So Al Clarkson has brought in an unchanged side from that match last Thursday when they were able to defeat the Western Bulldogs. For Geelong, Paddy Dangerfield comes back from his hip and groin issues. Mitch Edwards is also returning to the side. He won a Rising Star nomination a couple of weeks ago. Then he was managed the week after that, but he comes back in today. Of course, top 6 is still in reach for the Cats, and for North Melbourne, the wild card is still mathematically a possibility should they keep winning and should all results go their way. My name's Lauren Borden here at Docklands. North Melbourne has just run through their banner. The North Melbourne women's side also recorded a huge win a little earlier on this afternoon against Geelong. That was 73 points the margin by the two-time reigning premiers. They've unveiled their premiership flag as well here in front of fans and with fireworks. But now North Melbourne have just run out and they're warming up towards the Lockett end at Docklands. We're about 13 minutes away from the opening ball up of this match. To call alongside me, up from Tassie, Chris Rowbottom, welcome to you.
Hello, Loz. Great to be here, and really looking forward to seeing North Melbourne actually this afternoon. I think we know, or we have a fair old sense of what Geelong are going to bring to the table today as they sort of hunt to consolidate a top 6 spot, but an improved North Melbourne over the last couple of weeks. They had that narrow loss to Hawthorn down in Tassie, and then they had the breakthrough win against the Doggies last week. And I'm really, really interested to see if they can carry it on this afternoon against some very, very good opposition.
And to join us for this match between North and the Cats, North Melbourne legend Brent Harvey, welcome to you. You've had your pre-match events. You're a very busy man when it comes to North Melbourne games.
Yes, we did have North Melbourne put a fantastic event on yesterday for all the fathers to go and join the sons at a training. It was quite interesting to see some of the different age, different body shapes. Dads get out and have a training session.
Whose dad has the best footy skills apart from you? Obviously go along there and tear it up.
I'll tell you, Harry Sheezel's old man, Dean, kicks the ball quite well. There's a few. Finn O'Sullivan's dad looks exactly like Finn O'Sullivan.
Okay.
Massive hands, like big farmer's hands. I shook his hand today and I was just like, whoa, you got big Stewie Lowe hands. So, but it was fantastic. And then the boys are just having a beer now. So I quickly went up there and said g'day to them before I come and had my official duties. But there's something I do want to say, and I know you mentioned the last 2 games these guys have met. 101 points and 49 points. But the key factor to that, Jeremy Cameron had a 101-point win, 11 goals. Max Holmes, 29 disposals. This year in round 8, 49-point loss for the Kangas. Jeremy Cameron, 3 goals, 19 disposals. Holmes, 2 goals, 29 disposals. So I'm thinking that Alistair Clarkson's pretty happy that those 2 gentlemen are not out at Marvel Stadium today.
Pretty handy outs if you're a North Melbourne supporter coming along today. Sitting next to Boomer Harvey is the coaching icon, Mick Malthouse. Welcome to you.
Hey, Lauren.
and Chris and Boomer and Ray on the boundary and all our listeners. Well, I reckon I'm just looking around and I'm trying to pick a good 11 from these two teams because they are needed in Darwin. We have got a shocking side in Darwin. I reckon we're playing veterans. I reckon the Australian side would do very well because it's one of those, the old case of Clarkson's made no moves, no changes here for a winning side. Australia have made no changes in 22 years on the side they've got. So do you think I'm a little bit annoyed at that, Burma? Do you think I'm a little bit, what would I say, why not play some of these kids when you've got 21 tests in front of you and the Bangladeshis are slaughtering us? Anyway, I will say that North Melbourne...
Nick, I think the scoreline might have something to do with your anger right now because we're not looking very good in the cricket, are we?
2 for 51 at tea at the moment, chasing 426. It's all on ABC. Listen, we'll put Corbin and Ben up there. They're calling it.
3 for... Lampashay's still in. He'll go a couple of balls. Green, so it's 4 for... Sorry, anyway, let's get to the cricket. Let's get to the football, right? I think the North have got a chance. Now, you've got to work out what they're fighting for and what Geelong are fighting for. Geelong win this game, they go in front of Adelaide. Now, we know that Melbourne haven't played, but Adelaide played last night. And incidentally, I thought Adelaide showed a lot last night, just on that. So that game last night was a I'll be interested to see how these sides go against... I know sometimes you only go as well as your opponents let you, but that game last night, the intensity and the pressure was just elite. And that's why Fremantle are on top and Adelaide are chasing them. So Geelong will probably, because they've had such an easy draw and will have an easy draw the last week, I won't call this one an easy game. I think this is the better one of the three, but they play... an easy one next week. They need a really strong hit out. They need to get their best side available, and I know there's a few in the stands, like as Boomer said, but they need to come away with a red face, a lot of sweat, and a gritty win, just to prepare them for finals footy.
So you're right, Mick. Richmond next week for Geelong, and obviously we were down the highway when they took on Essendon last week. Looking at the Cats, and last week, Boomer, George Wardlaw comes into the side, and it's the impact that he makes. How do you see, considering it opens up someone like a Luke Davies-Uniacke who has an incredible match, 10 tackles, 30-plus disposals, a couple of goals, and it makes a lot of difference for North.
He's nearly the best 16 or 15 to 20 possession player in the league. The stuff that he does off the ball, Mick, and we'll see it firsthand today, is George Wardlaw.
Yes.
He's nearly the best 15 to 20. And the knock on him, and not from me or just hearing, he doesn't get enough of the ball. I actually don't think he needs a lot of the ball to have a huge impact on the game. Last week, his defensive efforts were unbelievable. If you're playing the game in a very small area, there's not too many players that I've seen as good as him.
No, it's probably Liberatore.
Acceleration, he's going to either win it or he's going to halve it. I see the battle of the midfield and the matchups, and it'll be really interesting to see what Mick's got to say with this, because young Mullen goes to... He's been fantastic this year, and even the job on Nick Dacos, I think, still end up having 30 touches on him, but he negated him really well. Who you would go to, Sheasel or Luke Davies-Uniacke, number one, and then does North Melbourne send somebody to Bailey Smith without
You've got to shut... With your training yesterday, was there any indication that you would come away saying that with Holmes out of the side, I know Geelong have got a long list of players that can go through there and have an impact, not a massive impact, but an impact, and that's what we're getting back with Wardlaw. Atkins doesn't have a lot of possession, so I think he has an impact. Who do you think could go to Smith? Because I just don't think North can win unless Smith is held reasonably well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Mick. The one that's been tagging for North Melbourne is Finn O'Sullivan.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know around the time trials and the fitness levels. Now, Bailey Smith is in the elite of the elite in terms of running.
Does he get hit enough?
No, I don't think he does. That's gone out of the game. It can't be Finn O'Sullivan versus Bailey Smith. I think in a running race, Bailey Smith's not only going to beat Finn O'Sullivan, he's going to beat every player in the competition. So it's up for his teammates, and I know what you're going.
I want to make sure that people on the outside don't go, is he talking about striking?
No, absolutely
not.
We're talking about checking him.
Check.
Every time he runs past,
hit the body.
You've got to go to him. So, you know what? You might not even hit him or check him. He might just have to run around another 2 metres. So over a course of a day, he's run an extra 2 or 3 kilometres that he probably didn't need to.
And not getting the ball.
Or he gets a little elbow in the bicep, and it's just stopping him from running and getting his 1-2. So I totally agree. It can't be a Finn O'Sullivan thing. It's got to be a North Melbourne thing. Every time he gets off the chain, somebody else can maybe cover for Finn O'Sullivan if he's the player that goes to.
Well, they've got some really strong bodies in there, Boomer. really strong bodies. And I talk about their ruckman as well. He doesn't go... He's not Mr. Nice Guy. He does put his body in about, and I think in a controlled area, he's one that can put the hands out or the arms out and make sure that someone has to run the extra yard around him. Because
absolutely.
He's a thinker of the game.
Yep.
Look, I don't think... I think pound for pound, probably Geelong win the game, but you've got to... And I know they're very experienced, but there's always in the back of the mind, Cameron's out and Holmes is out, and they got injured. We don't want to get injured going into a final series. It's and if we're not careful, we want to make sure we finish in the top 6, not 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th.
You probably don't want to play in that wild card round, do you?
Well,
you need to get the week off.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that gives Cameron, Holmes and more opportunity. If he's going to come back, I'm not too sure where he's at with his injury.
Yeah. And also, I think Dangerfield's a fresh player. The more games that he plays, I think they taper off to the point where his body just can't cope with it. When he up fresh, he's generally a far better player at his age.
Yep.
And he should come back he'll be fresh this afternoon. But it's interesting to see what sort of work he gets done on him too, because again, like you're just seeing, we've seen a couple of players retire, and I know that Paddy's going around again, but to me, he's lost his legs a bit. He's not as yes, he's powerful, but when the ball hits the ground, his legs are well behind his body. He's sort of like throwing himself at the ball.
He needs to be a 5 minute a quarter impact in the centre bounce.
Exactly.
If he needs it, otherwise he's a stay-at-home power forward.
And even out of the goal square, boom.
Yep. He looks good. If he gets the right matchup, he dominates in the air.
Oh,
and he's still agile enough to hit the ground. And on the other side of the coin, Mick, who does Mullen go to? Do you go to a Luke Davies-Uniacke who actually breaks the line?
I think he's got to go to Sheasel.
Or Sheasel, who's an accumulator. He gets the football. He gets the 1-2s.
Yeah, I just don't. I think the bigger the body, the harder at the ball. I just think that it's harder for a young Irishman to sort of, I think if there's just a free running player that might go and put his head over the ball occasionally, I think he's an easier target.
Yep. The other one for me too, Mick, is Tom Stewart down back. I don't understand why, and I say this every time I do a Geelong game, I don't understand why teams leave him spare. And he's the best in the competition still. After 6, 7, 8 years of doing it, he's still the best in the competition of doing it. They free him up. And if North Melbourne do that today, they're going to have a very hard task at hand, because he sets Geelong's drive up. Intercept mark, play on, go.
Now, Boomer, I'm going to test your memory. There's a few years ago, then I've always said you've got to have 6 forwards.
Yep.
Against Geelong. Keep them honest. There were moments a few years ago where they started to tag him to the point where he was irrelevant as a back.
Yep.
Ended up spending a lot of time through the middle.
And on the wing. Yes.
Remarkably, clubs have either got amnesia or just refused to do what we would think about doing, Boomer. Look, it's so logical. Don't let them get what they want in the back line. You know what Geelong want in the back line? One of your players to go up the forward line and gives us the +1. We will come over the top, take a mark, punch it clear, stand 10 yards off you, get a little chip hand pass, and away we go and set the play up.
So for the people listening, Mick, even if it's not Tom Stewart's man that goes up and plays that extra midfield, what they'll do...
Swap around.
They'll just swap.
Yep.
So the Geelong defender will go to the...
Yep.
And it just leaves him spare. It's really easy to do, and teams do it. I'm just trying to jog my memory. Who was the team that actually went to him first and stamped him? Was it Hawthorn maybe?
Look, I'm not sure, but it followed up to the point where he was so frustrated because he knew he was going to get tagged.
Yep.
You'd almost see his head, after about 6 or 7 weeks, he'd go, have a look. He'd watch them come out of the centre, the little huddle here, come to him and he'd go, I've got another tag. And it does throw you out if you're a player that likes a bit of space. Now, he's as tough as nails, make no mistake about it. But I've always said about the Cats and against Hawthorn and a couple of other sides, if you can put pressure on their back line by the ground ball, because they're very good in the air, but they're not that great on the ground. But the only way you get the ball on the ground is contest one-on-one football, or at least even the way you bring the ball in.
So averaging 9 intercepts each match across the past 8 rounds, Tom Stewart, which is a league best. So he's been in some good form lately. They were the thoughts of Boomer Harvey and Mick Malthouse in the pre-match heading into this game against Geelong and North Melbourne. We're just 30 seconds away from the opening ball up. And the fifth member of our commentary team has finished his umpiring duties in the AFLW match that came before this. Ray Chamberlain, nice to have you in the front row of the stadium for us.
Hey, Loz, awesome to be here. I've got a coffee in hand, and any time there's a game that Patrick Dangerfield and George Wardlaw are playing in, I'm all eyes. So looking forward to this one.
You're getting double paid. You get paid for umpiring and also doing this. Was this a love job?
Love of the game, Mick. You know me, mate. Love of the game.
Good on you, Ray.
Works for the ABC for free. It is Geelong and North Melbourne. To get things underway, here's Chris Rowbottom.
Davies Uniacke pounces on a loose footy in the middle of the ground, shares a handball with Sherry. Back to Davies Uniacke. A couple of early touches for him. Tumbles the ball to half forward. Curtis couldn't quite get access. Off hands it was Smith who gave it up to Sheasel, who released Simpkin, breaking through the 50 for the first of the afternoon. Simpkin kicks truly. Perfect start, North Melbourne, as they go to 1 straight 6. Geelong yet to score. North Melbourne bounce out of the blocks under the lid. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, your answer right there is Mullen going to Luke Davies-Uniacke, who got a double-up possession. The importance of winning centre bounce, Mick, and getting the ball forward where it's a 6-on-6. That was a piece of play there where Simpkin, he actually did it quite well, but he could have dropped his eyes and hit Nick Larkey as well. But fantastic finish. But Luke Davies-Uniacke, you know you're getting run with now. It's a great start, double-up possession.
Brilliantly done by North Melbourne. Right from the word go. Cherries, I'll say now he might have lost that tap, but his follow-up work and the finish was outstanding. So once they start to know who they're on, Smith's interesting. Just interested to see who does. Sullivan looks like he's going to Smith. So there'll be another test, and Dempsey's the other one who could have a big impact on this game.
So within 30 seconds, North Melbourne strike first. Here is Jai Simpkin bursting out of the centre. Will put North inside forward 50 again. No mark can be taken. Pulled to ground. Curtis has a go at it. Might have been held without it. Umpire says play on. Guthrie takes it. He's pulled to ground. Luke Davies-Uniacke picks it up. Hand passes it to Larkey. Dodges right. Dodges left. Gets it to Darling. Manages to get a boot on it. And that is 2 in quick succession for North Melbourne. Less than 2 minutes have been played in the opening term of this match. And North Melbourne has the hot start. 2 straight 12 taking on Geelong, yet to score. 1:50 played in the opening term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
That's deja vu, Mick. That's centre bounce clearance. Go forward, get the ball as deep as you can. And just a good, Nick Larkey was fantastic there. Trent Bath with the tackle. The pressure is high at the start of this game.
And the things we say, in general terms, at 6-6-6, try to keep it in overall terms, not just for centre bounces, because you've panic where they have a one-on-one situation.
Speed on ball at the minute for the Kangas.
Yeah.
Been fantastic. 2 inside 50s, 2 goals.
The women have kicked off their premiership defence in perfect style. And the men have started this one beautifully as well. Under the lid at Docklands, back in the middle. They fight after it. Atkins is there. Mullen too. He lays a tackle going nowhere. They'll have a ball up just to the left-hand side of the centre circle. Geelong attacking zone. In fact, there's going to be a free kick here, plucked out of what's that for in particular. It's going to go to Mitch Edwards, who loads Geelong inside 50 for the first time this afternoon. Off hands Hardiman, immediately brought to ground by Grind Miners. Ray Chamberlain's on the boundary.
Yeah, when the field umpire calls for the ball up and you don't either leave it on the ground or give it back to them, that'll be a free kick every time.
Thanks, Ray. Tossed up inside forward 50 for the Cats. Finn O'Sullivan punches it away, but there is a free kick.
Geelong, I reckon I've already got a spare man already. Yes, they have.
So ruck infringement sees Tristan Sherry take the kick 20 metres out from defensive goal for North. Flares it out to Logue. Right back pocket. Puts it down towards Curtis. Coming in to bush it away from him is Atkins, and he gets it over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Curtis is the form half forward in the comp. He's an absolute crack, I reckon.
Yeah, he's a great player. Very strong.
That guy has a crack.
Can mark it in the air and kick goals from the ground. Really good height for both.
4 goals last week as well. Paul Curtis in North Melbourne's win against the Western Bulldogs. There's another holding free in the ruck again. And Sean Manor will win this one. So he goes around, tries to dodge around Simpkin, drops the footy, then regains it, picks it up and sends it into the hot spot inside forward 50. Cam Zerha sits back and holds on to a strong mark inside defensive 50 for North Melbourne. It's North Melbourne leading by 2 straight goals. Geelong yet to score 4 minutes played.
Goes back across goal into the left back pocket where Core marks. He goes short to Daniel. They work it out wide now to Hardiman, and around the boundary they go, North Melbourne. Here's Dylan Stevens. Short ball up the line to Jai Simpkin just knocked out of his possession. Bruin came through, gave it to Bailey Smith. High ball now to right half forward. Big fly Polkinghorne. Couldn't quite drag it in. Blitzarves with the quick hands to Neil. It was too slick. Couldn't bring it under his control. They fight at ground level. And the tackle is applied by Blitzarves on the outer side. We'll have a ball up just in front of the 50. Geelong attacking zone.
Geelong have got a +2, not +1, +2 behind the ball.
Blitzarves knocked it down. Straight to Dylan Stevens, though, of North Melbourne. Good one beyond defensive 50. Through hands now go the Roos. Darling, centre wing, outer side. Cuts back in board to Simpkin, who's been very busy early. Darling back to Stevens. Got himself in a real old jam. And Atkins got him.
And they did that for one reason. They had no one to kick to.
Bruin on the outside, receives the handball. Polkinghorne direction, couldn't take the mark. It just eluded Sherry at ground level. They go in after it again. Spargo gives it up now to Hardiman. Kicks into the middle of the ground. Good mark taken by Davies Uniacke in front of the tagger in Mullen.
And Davies Uniacke will kick to the top of the 50, puts it out in front of Trembath, running onto it, can pick it up ahead of O'Sullivan of Geelong, who takes him to the turf. And Trembath on his hands and knees tries to go back. He's dived on top of by O'Sullivan of the Cats. And we'll have a ball up inside forward 50 for North Melbourne.
I love that move. Luke Uniacke takes himself forward to take Mullen there.
Yeah.
Fantastic mark for his height, Luke Davies Uniacke. See if he can test him forward.
Tossed up inside forward 50 for North Melbourne. Darling tries to hand pass it and put him in front of Simpkin, who goes in after it, digs it out, gives it to Sheasel. His little hand passes into some space, picked up by Tremba, tackled by Mullen. Ball spills to ground. In goes Sheasel again to try and grab it and dig it out for North. But a bunch of Cats dive on top of him, and we'll have a ball up 30 metres out from North's attacking goal. They're up by 12 points. Cavan kicks the first 2 goals of the game within a minute and a half.
Bruce fast start. Deep in attack for North Melbourne. Out of the congestion, Sheasel was knocked out of his grasp. Davies Uniacke goes in again, fires off a handball to the voice of Spargo. He's got a little bit of room to move, shoots it out to Hardiman. Round the back now, O'Sullivan didn't quite get the purchase required. His kick falls short. It's marked deep in defence by the Cats. They'll bring it out beyond defensive 50. Goes O'Sullivan, and getting back and able to take the mark was Stevens. Smith there to mop up, goes one way, then the other. Just sold Caleb Daniels some candy, then went up the line, knocked over by Curtis, and we'll have a ball in just in front of centre wing outer side.
Every contest, the North players are celebrating the player that caused it, or that punch out of bounds. They just went across to Curtis straight away. So they're right on North Melbourne. They're going to test Geelong.
So Sherry taps it down, goes in after it, picks up the footy himself and just bangs a kick inside forward 50. It'll sit for Connor O'Sullivan to take it. Hand pass it to Guthrie. Curtis pulls him down to the turf. And takes him high.
Oh, wow.
Lucky for Guthrie as those two just tangle as they're getting up. Zach Guthrie in game 150 will maybe get away with one there, Mick.
You got away with it. But this is interesting too. They've covered one-on-one, so Geelong can't just walk out of the back line.
Guthrie just kicks it long down the wing. Neil keeps it in by bashing it down the wing as well. It bounces a few times, goes out of bounds, and it'll be a lasso free kick. So North will win it here.
Well,
it was actually deliberate, the umpire called. It was a punch on, but
you reckon it was deliberate?
It wasn't deliberate. He tried to hit it down the line as far as he could.
I don't get that. I mean, there's enough thing against you, Boom.
Well, it's the ball, how funny it is, Mick. It can bounce at right angles. I don't think he meant it.
What do you think, Ray?
Insufficient intent. If it goes closer to the line rather than towards the middle of the ground, the umpires are instructed to pay a free.
Here's Curtis at left half forward for North Melbourne, trying to poke one into the pocket where Trembath was well covered by Henry. He goes to ground and the ball goes over. It's a ball in.
Ray, you should be umpiring still out here because you know what? If a player asks you what the hell's going on there and you explained it like that, that's how umpires get the respect.
Well,
I loved it.
You got Boomer, $5 a game player, confused.
From the ball in, it eluded both ruckmen, tumbled out of defensive 50. Here's Hardiman underneath it, just jostled out of it by Henry of Geelong. Kneels a long way up the ground. He gathered the loose footy for the Cats. Goes toward Polkinghorne. One-on-one contest. Comben did well getting back. He gave away the free. Front on contact against Charlie Comben.
Yeah.
This will give Geelong their first real look.
Wasn't looking at the ball, Charlie. Got to swivel your head there to Razor. Just make an effort like you're looking at the ball. I'm tipping.
Yeah, the sole objective of the player has to be to contest the football. And Charlie, that's a hard sell when you do it like that.
Totally agree with that one.
This kid's made an impression. He's, I reckon he's almost in their best side, Polkinghorne. Even if Cameron does come back, he just adds that little different dimension. He's hard at it, good mark, decent kick.
Little kick from right on 50 on a 45-degree angle, or just inside, in fact. Sends this one goalward. It's not quite to the line. In fact, it's off hands to Daniel, and now McKercher, who steps back inside, and the kick was ill-directed for Wardlaw. Warple got in the way. Simpkin was there, couldn't gather the footy. Here's Atkins at ground level. Myers now. Warple around the body for the Cats. He's missing everything. Out of bounds on the full. North Melbourne free kick.
So Tom Stewart's direct opponent, Charlie Spargo, goes into the stoppage, and Nick Larkey, who is on O'Sullivan, goes and picks up Tom Stewart and leaves Sullivan spare. Still not a good play to leave spare, but at least it's not Stewart.
Yeah, but you're losing one of your key forwards that way. He wants to get the forwards. The key forward should get where he wants to get, not where Stewart wants to get. I don't know whether North Melbourne need the extra play at the stoppage. Their stoppage works quite good.
There is a stoppage coming up here now after Course kick out of defence. Half forward for Geelong. Again, this will be a ruck infringement against Shannon Neal. And Sherry wanted that one from the umpire, who saw it. Wins it. Hand passes it to Daniel. Hand pass to George Wardlaw. Just backwards of centre wing, outer side of the ground. Kicks down the wing. Two Geelong players kind of getting each other's way, but Bruin's able to gather it. Hand passes it to Warple. Long looping hand pass. Dempsey will gather it. Outer wing, and he can put Geelong to the top of the forward 50. It'll be a mark to the Cats. O'Shea Mullins got back there. Then hand passes to Dempsey, who's kept running 45 metres out. Won't be able to go for goal himself, but there'll be a mark on the line. And Geelong will have a set shot from directly in front of goal. And this time it'll be Jay Polkinghorne from a distance he can't miss from.
Mick, you mentioned him really briefly before, but Ollie Dempsey, is he nearly the best winger in the competition?
He is the
now?
best winger.
Is it, not nearly?
I reckon he's dead set the best winger. Goal kicker. He's like what you said before, 17 to 27 make no difference, because 17, if there's a 17 day, you generally think it's a 2 or 3 goal, or he kicks the ball in like this. This kid will worry most backs, you know. He's a real get.
Jay Polkinghorne cannot miss and puts it into the second tier at the Lockett end of Dockland Stadium this afternoon. It's Geelong's first for the afternoon. 1 straight 6, the Cats, North Melbourne, 2 straight 12. 11 minutes played, North ahead by 6 points.
It's funny, and we talk about Ollie Dempsey getting forward so much, and he was the one that kicked that ball into the forward 50. But I'm watching him now. I think there's some sort of trick with Geelong where he just plays centre forward.
He does.
He works, though. He works
but he
so
can get
hard.
Back, he can get back.
I was watching him before. He was in the back 50, and then he's the one kicking the ball inside 50. So his work rate, Mick, up and down the ground on one side of the ground is elite. He must be a 6-minute 2K'er, because his running ability is outstanding.
He's the sort of player. I know we're talking about Smith, but I think that you've got to put some work in him as a winger.
I totally agree.
Back in the middle, North Melbourne kicked the first 2, and Geelong are on the board with their first by Jay Polkinghorne. Wardlaw gives it to Hardiman, bounding off half back, kicks toward left half forward for North Melbourne, 2-on-1, but Curtis got out the back. Fortuitous bounce, he breaks inside 50, and he hits up Darling, top of the square. So North Melbourne with the chance for the instant response. Jack Darling won't miss this from 18 metres out.
Yeah, good play.
It's a great response in it. Paul Curtis had every right then to go for goal. Very, very unselfish to send the ball back into Jack Darling, who was on his own 12 metres out from goal.
So Darling already on the board this afternoon, lining up for his second. Deliberate approach. Pokes at the footy and puts it straight through the middle. And North Melbourne have their third. They get the instant reply. They're 3 straight 18. Geelong 1 straight 6. Midway through the first term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit... Paul Curtis had a 2-on-1, and Geelong players spoiled each other and let the ball out the back. We know as a key back, Mick, and you're the coach here, but it's cardinal sin, isn't it? You'd let the ball out the back if you're a backman.
No, you just can't do it, Boomer. Just interesting. Our stats are right in front of us, but just the ones I've got on my phone here, interesting inside 50s. With North Melbourne, how much possession? They've had 46 for 6 inside, 51 for 6, whereas Geelong have only had 27 possessions for 6 inside.
Yeah, right.
So it's remarkable how different, but
efficient.
If one side's scoring from that, which North Melbourne are, you take that every day of the week.
Here comes George Wardlaw in the middle, paddles it forward to Sheasel on his left boot. He'll send North inside forward 50. A pack will form. Connor O'Sullivan at the front holds on to it for the Cats. 198-centimetre defender out of Albury. In defensive 50 for Geelong. Kicks it long down the wing all the way to centre wing, outer side of the ground. It'll be taken by Luke Parker. And will be coming back his way. Intercepting mark from North.
9 clearances to 2, North Melbourne's way.
Inside 50 is Parker's kick. Stewart got in front but couldn't take the mark. Spills down towards Larkey from 48 metres out. What a wonderful finish. And what a start from North Melbourne as well. North's lead is out to 18 points. 14 minutes played in his opening term. A wonderful goal there from Larkey. And North are 4 straight 24. Geelong 1 straight 6. Just 15 minutes played, and it's North ahead by 3 goals.
Yeah, it was a great finish. He's got the yips in front of goals a little bit, Nick Larkey, but...
no thinking about that one.
No thinking, no time to think, Mick. I think it was Stewart who dropped the mark. He gets the fall of the ball, picks it up, 2 steps. I'll have a shot on goal there.
And puts it around the corner, yeah.
Beautiful kick. Natural kicking arc. I like that when players do that. But, again, no time to think. Fantastic finish by Larkey. And those clearances, 9-2, that's been the difference right now. Because
smash them. Absolutely smashing.
And Geelong just can't get their hands on the footy. 54 to 28 disposals, North Melbourne's way.
So 4 goals inside the first 16 minutes here for North Melbourne. It's a terrific start, and they might go again here as Stevens feeds it back to Parker off half-back. Tries to hit up Banch in the middle of the ground. Knocked away from him. Blitzarves gathers the footy. Banch gathered him. Couldn't find a target with the handball. Warple's at ground level, he's claimed. And we're back in the middle of Docklands, where it'll be thrown up. North Melbourne looking to continue this early assault. Blitzarves just got rid of Dawson out of the ruck, took the footy, kicked it inside 50 to a one-on-one. Good contest between Core and Neal. Core at ground level went and got it, but arriving on the scene was Henry, taking him down in a good tackle and forcing the stoppage 30 metres out from Geelong's goal.
Yeah, not a North Melbourne player back of centre or forward of centre. They're all back.
So Dawson tries to get the tap down. McKirch in there for North. Goes for a second effort, grabs it. Atkins brings him to the turf. And the umpire will wrap things up at the locket end and toss it up. 40 metres out from Geelong's goal. Again, Dawson in front position. Just swats it away. Can't be gathered by Blamires. And the umpire will blow his whistle and bring the free kick back as Wardlaw and Warple tussle a little in the centre square. But it will be a free kick to Blamires. In defensive 50 for North Melbourne. Goes for a run along the broadcast wing. Eventually puts it on his boot. Spargo leaves it. He had Trembath behind him. Couldn't pull in the mark, Cooper Trembath. So instead Clark can take it and pull it away. Hand pass to Wiltshire in the hands of the Cats. The hand pass is intercepted by Spargo. He tries to paddle it away towards Wardlaw. It's all a tangle of players here. Blamire is doing the tackling now on close.
Well, they're right. North will ride up. Geelong, you can tell that Geelong are going to steady because they're too experienced not to, but at the moment they are really rushed.
From the stoppage, ball bounces out toward the boundary. Warple emerges with it. Finn O'Sullivan brought him to ground. Cries of ball. And the guys were rewarded.
Boomer, he hasn't been the player they've wanted, what they thought they were going to get, Warple.
No, certainly not. He hasn't been able to step up to that next level, has he?
Right.
Best and fairest winner at Hawthorn, by the way.
O'Sullivan called to play on, but his kick is misguided as Tom Stewart comes out to meet it at left half back for the Cats. Marks uncontested.
The concern for Geelong at the minute, North Melbourne's gone in 8 times and kicked 4 goals.
Yep.
Inside defensive 50 he goes, where Blitzarves awakes, takes the uncontested mark and goes 15 metres further afield now to Guthrie, who goes for a little bit of a gallop, back of a wing. Out of side, big fly out there from Neal, off hands. Dempsey was waiting. He takes a bounce on the outer side, cuts the ball inside in the Henry direction, couldn't quite bring it down. Handball out into green grass. Manna couldn't gather the footy. He was claimed. They go in after it at ground level. Tackle applied. And a stoppage just inside 50. Cats attacking side.
Sorry, Chris, there's a Geelong
Shannon
player.
Neal.
Yeah, picked himself up very late. I think it was a big hit by the pack.
Yeah.
On top of him.
And then just stayed on the turf for a little while as, again, it's tossed up and Dawson just gives it all he's got to get it outside defensive 50. Bailey Smith will collect for Geelong. A little hand pass will find Lawson Humphries. He hacks the kick inside forward 50. Dangerfield falls awkwardly but gets back up. Ball spills outside of attacking 50 for the Cats. And it's North that'll gather. Dawson, hand pass to Daniel, hand pass to Luke Davies. Uniac kicks right down the wing, outer side of the ground, near the logo, picked up by Blitzarves. His hand pass is intercepted by Darling, who just tries to push it away. And in the end, this will end up in a stoppage inside the very centre of Docklands.
I'll tell you what, North Melbourne's pressure has been elite, Mick. And standing out. Geelong is starting to fumble the ball a little bit just through perceived pressure.
Dawson won the tap straight down the throat of O'Sullivan. Shallow entry inside 50. But his namesake gets across and takes a wonderful intercepting mark for the Cats.
Yep.
Young key defender who keeps getting better by the week.
I know we keep saying it, but if North had one more player, which they should have had down there, that ball doesn't get marked.
Yeah, 2-on-1 again, wasn't it,
Well,
Nick?
2-on-1,
You can't have Stewart and Sullivan
they eat that sort of stuff.
going for the ball against one North Melbourne player.
And even here, you end up chasing, and they can now Geelong can just set it up the way they want to set it up.
They've completed the switch. Stewart to Guthrie, and then Guthrie to left half forward. He wanted Wiltshire. He was worked out of the contest, but gave away the free kick to Blamires. Now North Melbourne can launch off half back. It was a bit of a hit and hope from Core into the middle of the ground. Stewart comes in and spikes it down to ground level. Blitzarves is there, taken to the turf by Dawson.
I don't like that handball by Blamires. It goes to Aidan Core, who's standing on the boundary line. Now the ball's live again.
North Melbourne ahead by 18 points as Finn O'Sullivan takes it, hand passes it away to Wardlaw, kick inside forward 50. It's a one-on-one. Trembouth gets a hand to it. Guthrie still trying to paddle it, can't gather it, overruns it. Stewart comes back to help him out. And in the right back pocket, Tom Stewart can clear it outside defensive 50. Lawson Humphries will mark. And pass to Bruin, moves it across to Mullen by hands, and then Bruin gets it back, puts the kick right down the wing. Charlie Combin's there to intercept for North Melbourne. He cuts things off at left half back for North, ahead by 18 points, 24 playing 6, 20 minutes played in the opening term on ABC Sport.
Oh, now Logue's dropped an uncontested mark at the top of the 50. He lets the Cats in. They go after it, and they're going to force a stoppage here, the Cats. So the kick from Combin with some risk attached, and Logue unable to bring it in.
Still should have been marked this level.
Neil in the ruck. Sherry got hands to it. Handball out to Logue, who just thumped it out to the outer wing. Trembath first there. Handed it off to Sheasel. He cuts a nice ball into Luke Davies-Uniacke, who marks on the logo. Centre wing, outer side. Blitzars gives him a little something to think about on the way down. He's going to retreat momentarily here. Back to Logue, who completes the mark on this occasion. Back of the centre square. He'll come out to the near side. Kick left a little bit to be desired for Colby McKercher, but he gathers it on the bounce and has time to cut him board. He gives off a handball to Daniel. They're mucking around with it a little bit here. O'Sullivan now. He sends North Melbourne inside 50. The flyer was Dawson. Got it on the bounce. Gave it to Sherry. Flat-footed. Spargo now lost his footing. Tried to get it up to Wardlaw. Claimed in the tackle. Warple pleads his case with the umpire. He says going nowhere. We'll have a ball up at right half forward for North Melbourne.
Speaking on one knee there when he was chatting to the umpire. Tossed up at half forward. Ball will spill its way inside forward 50 for North. Spargo overruns it, goes back, grabs it. Tiny hand pass will find Darling. His hand pass a turnover. There's traffic all around the footy. Picked up by Finn O'Sullivan as North Melbourne move it by hands. It goes from Sheasel. He hand passes it across to Zach Banch. And Banch has slotted it. Another goal to North Melbourne. The lead is pushed out to 24 points, 5 straight North. The Cats 1 straight 6, 22 minutes played in the opening term. And North have 5 goals from their 12 inside 50s. It is 22 minutes played in the first. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. Your experts, Boomer Harvey and Mick Malthouse.
Well, dare I say it, Mick? Pressure from North Melbourne in the forward 50. Another fumble to Geelong defender. I'm not sure who the player was. It doesn't really matter. But there was a couple of fumbles in there. North Melbourne picked the ball up. Clean. Open goal. Great pressure. Great start by the Kangas.
Yeah, I think it might have been Guthrie, one of them. But there were 3 genuine... there he is there. That's Clark. Actually, Clark overrun something he shouldn't have. Yep, I totally agree. And North had the numbers there, Boomer. And that's what broke them in the end.
5 straight to 1 straight. North Melbourne with the advantage, and out of the middle they go again. Blamires on the near side. Kicks to right half forward. O'Sullivan was the target, and he was infringed in the marking contest, so he'll get a free kick. Plays on immediately, sees something he likes inside 50. It hung in the air momentarily. Spargo was able to take the uncontested mark. He's 40 metres out from goal on a slightly greater than 45-degree angle. He wasn't overly confident about going back and taking the shot, but he's going to probably do so here.
Yeah, every player in the competition should have the distance from here. He'll be kicking from about 42 metres.
Yep.
Got to back himself from here. It's been a fantastic start by the Kangas. This one just really hurts the Cats if he can go back and slot this.
This to make it a 30-point lead deep into the first term. Spargo Distance wasn't a worry, but the accuracy was as he misses to the near side. First blemish for North Melbourne, who moved to 5-1-31. They lead by 25 points. Geelong 1 straight 6 deep into the first term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Tom Stewart chips it towards Bruin, who marks in the left back pocket and waits for Stewart to come ahead of him. Hand passes it to him and Stewart will curl it in from the boundary. Atkins was at the back of the pack. He comes forward and Ollie Henry takes it. Might have been taken high by core umpire, said play on. Walpole loses the footy, comes off his hands towards O'Connor, who gets tackled to the turf. Ball spills out again. Walpole goes after it for the Cats. He hand passes it over the top of his head. Bailey Smith is caught. Hand pass to Manor. He's caught by Zerha and things are locked up right in front of our broadcast position. North Melbourne not letting the Cats get a run on it.
Very good team effort.
Tossed up, Sherry taps it down to Sheasel. Hand pass to Blamires. Just a hurry kick inside forward 50. The bounce goes over Curtis's head. But again, there is intent from North Melbourne as Dawson stops the footy from getting out of his attacking 50.
Can they do this for the four quarters?
Yeah, that's the big
test.
That's the test, isn't it, Mick?
Geelong, we know can absorb it.
Warple out of the stoppage. Finn O'Sullivan grabs him, and North Melbourne, they're tackling to hurt at the moment.
18-4 in the clearances, Mick. 18-4.
Well,
Never seen that against the Cats for a long time.
Roos fans will be thrilled with this effort. Out of the stoppage again. Simpkin shows the candy, gets onto the left. High ball towards the top of the goal square. Curtis from 2 deep. He juggles the mark.
Yeah, it's a good mark. What a great mark. They're arguing about it, the Cats, but that great courage, number one, and got it on the second bite. Took a fair bit of it the first time, and I think got it easily on the second.
Well, he's the only one with really
he got it cleanly.
The ball, Mick.
Cleanly.
The only one that really attacked the ball, launched at it, jumped at it, and the double take and eyes on the ball the whole time.
If you're playing on Curtis, you've just got to play on his shoulder and keep him away from the run-up because he just attacks anything.
19 disposals and 4 goals last week. Paul Curtis, he pops this one through from 35 out. And North Melbourne go 31 points to the good. 6-1-37 the Roos. Geelong 1 straight 6. They're shell-shocked here at Docklands. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. North Melbourne with the perfect start under the lid. Mick Malthouse.
Well, you nailed it. And what Boone's been saying all along is the pressure. If you keep putting pressure on, it's a matter of you knock over 20 minutes. We know that quarters go for 20 minutes and, all the time on stuff. But to go for 20 minutes, the big test now is, one, can Geelong respond, which I've seen Geelong do this from quarter time onwards. We've seen this. But can North Melbourne hold their own in terms of the continual pressure that puts the Geelong players under pressure? And that's going to be the test. But right now they are fully... they're belting the hell out of Geelong, really, both physically and also stoppages and anywhere else around the ground. Here's another one.
Here it is. Mullen going in after it. Shrugs off one tackle, gets caught by a second. Umpire calls holding the footy on the second.
That should be 50 metres, You run away with the football. That's 50.
We'd already passed it to Lawson Humphries, who had to bring it back to Finn O'Sullivan, who dumps it in the right forward pocket. Bounces off Curtis's chest. Can't take the mark. Stewart couldn't gather it cleanly either. Wardlaw comes in hard. Might have knocked his opponent high. Not quite. It'll be a ball up inside forward 50 for North. 30 metres out. North ahead by 31 in this first term.
Another clearance.
So tossed up. Sherry with front position. Palms it right down to Simpkins. Snap and goal. That's home.
Yeah, that's murdering him.
One bounce and through the big sticks for Jai Simpkin. He's got his second of this first term, and it is a blistering opening term at that for North Melbourne. 7 goals, 43. The Kangas, the Cats, 1 straight 6. That's a 37-point advantage for North. 28 minutes played in the first term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Mick, 22-3. What numbers are they?
Yeah, that'd be stoppages.
Clearances, unbelievable.
But let's take our hat off to Cherry.
Yes, absolutely.
He is dominating. He hasn't been on all the time. I mean, they've had a little bit of a little change over there for 5 or 6 minutes. He has absolutely ripped the hell out of the Geelong rucks. He's just been too big, he's been too physical, and he puts the ball in the good spot. He's been brilliant.
He has. Great start by Big X.
Deep into the first term, back into the middle we go.
Oh, there it is again.
Responses, Geelong got, and Sherry a little enthusiastic on that occasion as he rips Broome down into the turf. He gave away.
Well, he's just picked his head up and he's stitching it back on. He just absolutely...
Yeah, you know what, Mick? Not one Geelong player went over and remonstrated, which is not a great sign.
Tanner Broome inside forward 50, closes at the back. He can't get access. There's a free kick here for a push. It's going to go North Melbourne's way. So it's all coming up North Melbourne here. Comben, the beneficiary, flares it out wide. Simpkin takes the mark just outside the defensive 50. Uses the runner, and up the wing they go. Zerha kicks to the one-on-one. Larkey gets out the back. Can he gather it on the bounce? He can. Feeds up the handball to Spargo. Here's O'Sullivan, who's had a big first term. Breaks the line of 50. Kicks toward goal, and it's knocked over for a minor score. This is a domination from North Melbourne, who stretched the lead out to 38. Their second blemish. 7-2-44. Geelong won straight deep into this first term. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
North has lost its last 15 games against Geelong by an average of 49 points, now up by 38 early in this, late in the first term, as Bailey Smith puts the kick down the wing for Geelong, looking for a late goal in this first term. Shannon Neal picks it up, hand passes it to Close, hand pass away to Wiltshire, who just skids the footy inside forward 50. Polkinghorne can't take the mark, and it should be North's defenders that can emerge with it. Zerhard takes it, hand passes it to Myers as they switch it across to the broadcast side of the ground. One bounce, hits Spargo. He can take it and hand pass it to McKercher. Right half back for North. Darts the kick inboard to spot up Simpkin.
Simpkin to Spargo, who kept on running. He streams to the middle of Docklands, and he's got a man out at right half forward in Trembath. Feeds it to Stevens from 55. Man all alone in the square in Sherry. Couldn't quite take the mark. Good defensive work from the Cats. O'Connor lays the tackle now on Sherry. Fighting for their lives defensively are the Cats as Curtis lays the tackle and forces the stoppage in the right forward pocket. So still time here with 31 gone in this first term.
Almost a goal missed there by North.
Up it goes. Sherry plays tackler now. We'll have another stoppage just 2 metres from where the previous one took place.
101 to 70 possessions. Can't get it, Geelong.
Sherry down into the path of Simpkin, who's been dangerous. They can't gather a clean disposal at ground level, the Cats. Humphreys can, just throws it on the boot. Dangerous toward the boundary. It tumbles out. It'll be a lasso free kick with only a couple of seconds remaining. If they move quickly, they can still score. Myers puts it into a dangerous position, but it's gobbled up down there by O'Connor. And the siren goes. Respite for the Cats, who have been jumped here at Docklands. 7-2-44 North Melbourne. Geelong 1 straight 6. The Roos lead by, wait for it, 38 points at the first change. Jai Simpkin kicked 2. Jack Darling kicked 2. Singles to Nick Larkey, Paul Curtis and Zach Banch. All for Geelong. Jay Polkinghorne was the sole goal kicker. Boomer, when was the last time you saw effort and intensity like that from the North Melbourne Football Club?
I haven't seen it for a little bit, and I think we see glimpses of it, and Mick called it really well. Can they maintain this for 4 quarters? We know Geelong are not just going to throw in the towel and not rock up in the next 3 quarters. Can they maintain that? That was unbelievable. Disposals, 110 to 71. Mick said that Geelong can't get their hands on it, and he's spot on. The numbers are insane. 22 to 5 in clearances, 49 to 21 in handball receives, Mick. They're working super hard with ball in hand, but just as hard without ball in hand. I know the tackles probably don't, it's 24 to 22 North Melbourne's way, but the pressure to come forward and put enormous pressure on Geelong it's exciting. Loz, it's exciting for the Kangas.
It's not what we expected when we all came here to Docklands today. We'll take a breath and gather it all in. It's North Melbourne ahead by 38 points at quarter time. This is Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
This August, Science Week is blooming around the ABC.
We're celebrating Australia's favourite wildflowers.
Vote now this Science Week.
Get involved at abc.net.au/science.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Davis Uniacke pounces on a loose footy in the middle of the ground. Shares a handball with Sherry. Back to Davis Uniacke. A couple of early touches for him. Tumbles the ball to half forward. Curtis couldn't quite get access. Off hands it was Smith, who gave it up to Sheasel, who released Simpkin, breaking through the 50. For the first of the afternoon, Simpkin kicks truly. Perfect start, North Melbourne.
Inside 50 is Parker's kick. Stewart got in front but couldn't take the mark. Spills down towards Larkey from 48 metres out. What a wonderful finish. And what a start from North Melbourne as well. Darling, his hand pass a turnover. There's traffic all around the footy. Picked up by Finn O'Sullivan as North Melbourne move it via hands. It goes from Sheasel. He hand passes it across to Zach Banch. And Banch has slotted it. Another goal to North Melbourne. Tossed up. Sherry with front position, palms it right down to Simpkins. Snap and goal, that's home.
Yeah, that's murdering him.
One bounce and through the big sticks for Jai Simpkin. He's got his second of this first term, and it is a blistering opening term at that for North Melbourne.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
Happy listening there. If you're a North Melbourne fan coming in this afternoon, the 13th place Kangas are leading Geelong by 38 points at quarter time. 7-2-44. The Cats 1 straight 6. The goal kickers of the match so far. Jai Simpkin got a couple in the first term. So did Jack Darling. Then Nick Larkey, Paul Curtis and Zach Banch each kicked singles. And for Geelong, their lone goal came via Jay Polkinghorne from about 15 metres out. And he was able to slam that home for the Cats. But it's been all North Melbourne in the opening term. Lauren Borden and Chris Rowbottom calling the action. Ray Chamberlain's down on the boundary for us. Our ABC Sport experts are Mick Malthouse and Brent Harvey. And we looked at that pressure that North Melbourne showed in the last quarter against Western Bulldogs last week that helped them record the win. They're showing it here today. And Mick, you mentioned how long they can continue it on for, but that was an impressive showing from the Kangas in the opening term.
Well, we can only judge the first quarter, and that's it. I've only made that comment because I've just seen enough of sides that are near the top and been around the top for a long time, and that's Geelong, and sides that have been middle to low in the last few years, and that's North Melbourne. I guess the constant is that Geelong fight back, and by half time we're wondering why we got excited, and then we say, well, that's the difference between an experienced side. But there's something about this game that it's different. It's a different feel, and I say the different feel is that Geelong, one, can't get their hands on the football, and when you're trailing like this, the contested football sometimes is a mark of where you're going. And at the moment, North Melbourne have had 42 contested possessions, and Geelong have only won 31. Now, if you're winning the football, sometimes it's hard to take it off them. But when the ball does fall and it becomes a contested football, that's when you expect to have, it doesn't matter what the scoreboard says, you expect to have a little bit, probably a bit more want, a bit more falling in your favour because you're starting to work hard to try to get that ball back. Right now, it's a comprehensive 42-31 against Geelong. And that's, I guess, if you're going to get back, there's a couple of things where Geelong can get back. One is their clearance rate is just this. I've never seen it so poor. Those sort of figures are 22-5. You don't see that. And I think it's 7-1 in the middle. And the other one is the contested football. But we've been spruiking about that we think we know everything, Boomer, in regard to a six-man forward line. At the moment, that's been gobbled up a little bit. Stewart hasn't had the same impact. But the ball movement through the middle meant that loose play that Geelong have got has probably only influenced the play twice. One when Darling couldn't go forward, and the other one when Simpkin couldn't go forward. The rest of it they were able to go forward because of mass runners. Now, that's the next test. It's not only the pressure that you put on, it's whether you can maintain that type of run through the middle of the ground and bring Geelong back to a cog, because their greatest strength is that run through the middle and off the back line.
Oh, you summed it up unbelievably well, Mick. The thing I would add to that is Geelong has been really fumbly.
Yes.
But it's on the back, and let's give North Melbourne some credit here. It's on the back of some elite pressure. The numbers are very similar in terms of tackling numbers. So when I say pressure, I'm just talking about when that loose ball's there and Geelong win it, North Melbourne are straight onto them. It's been a fantastic start. The big question remains, Mick, can they continue this? Because we know Geelong will peg them back. Can they continue this for another 80 minutes of football?
Well, it's their senior players who've got to do it.
Yeah, Paddy Dangerfield hasn't had a touch yet in the first quarter after coming back from his hip and groin issues. As from the middle, it's North Melbourne again. Simpkin hand passes it to Sheasel. Long kick to the top of the goal square. Cooper Trembar uses his body so well. Holds off his defender and will mark and have a shot from about 20 metres out. An angle to the left.
Mick, isn't it amazing when you put speed on ball?
Yep.
I know that one come from a centre clearance as
it's
well.
Still speed, though.
But they put speed, and it wasn't a clearance where it was just one handball and you're out. There was a little bit of bobbling around. You put speed on ball and you get a 1v1.
And that's what it was.
You got Guthrie versus a really good forward. Strong.
Who can take a good mark over his head. Yeah, Guthrie all of a sudden now get caught under the football. So, yeah, first minute of the play, second quarter.
The start of the second term, Cooper Trembath hits this one into the left goalpost. Couldn't swing it in for another goal in the opening 30 seconds as they did in the first term when Jai Simpkins scored the opening goal so quickly for North Melbourne. But promising signs in this second term. North Melbourne ahead by 39.
Yeah, it's a big miss, isn't it, Mick?
It's a shocking
You've
miss.
got to kick that from 25 out, unfortunately.
Well, you have to, because that puts scoreboard pressure back on. Scoreboard pressure is the most important pressure. Make no mistake about it.
Humphreys into Bruin, who kicks beyond defensive 50. Good contested mark taken out there by Blitzarves. He cuts inside and he'll get things moving for the Cats. To left half forward they go. At the front was Sherry. Couldn't bring it down. Knocked out of the grasp of Henry. Goes in back after it. McKerch is there. Applies the tackle. Spills out now to Parker. Just delayed the handball. Then gave it to Davis Uniacke, who twisted and turned and then released Daniel in the middle of the ground. O'Sullivan now, who's been super busy. They work it through defence. Curtis has pushed her high up the ground. Bouncing ball out toward the boundary. Has to go and chase it. He's got support though in Blamires. Uses him by a hand. He thought about coming inside. Then he thought about going boundary. Then he's going to go back into defence. Retreats back by hand to O'Sullivan. Still on the defensive 50. He kicks a shocker straight into the lap of Manor, who can send Geelong back the other way. There was a little fingertip on the way through. Wiltshire was tackled. He gave the handball up to Daniel, who broke it up. Now it's McKercher. Curtis now. McKercher kept on running. Received the handball. Calls for something up ahead. Gets onto his left. To left half forward they go. Larkey in a one-on-one was just taken down. Swooping on the loose foot, he was Sheasel. Broken up as O'Sullivan came across for the Cats. Now Henry, now Humphreys, now to the running Blitzarves at right half back for the Cats. Sends a ball towards right half forward. Able to take the mark was O'Connor. He's brought to ground.
I don't like that handball by Sheasel. He's going to get tackled. He throws it over his head straight to a Geelong player.
Yeah, exactly.
Take the hit. Take the tackle. It's okay. Start again. They're smacking them at clearances. Start again. Get another one.
39 points, North Melbourne's advantage early in the second term. Myers funnels it out to O'Connor by hands. Hand passes it across to Bailey Smith, who can put the kick inside forward 50 into the right forward pocket. Plenty of players around him. The footy. Dangerfield went to ground. So did Ollie Henry. It's Griffin Logue who can pick it up and take it for North Melbourne. Hand pass to Parker, who puts the kick close to the boundary line. But Myers chasing after it. Can't get there. Lasso free kick. North Melbourne's ball. Bailey Smith takes it and immediately fires it off to O'Connor, who marks it right half forward for the Cats.
Pressing here the Cats. O'Connor onto his left. Deep entry now for Geelong. Getting back Combat flying across. There's some holding. It'll be a Cats free kick.
No need to grab there. North had the numbers.
Yeah, Griffin Logue. Really silly.
He's kicking, he's marking, everything has been a little bit off today. Absolutely no need. When you've got numbers that are matched up and you've got they're more than matched up. They had a player that could come across the top. You've just virtually handed a goal.
Mitch Edwards lining up. The young ruck back in the team this afternoon. Can get one on his rival number in Sherry, who's had the better of him so far, and he puts it through a post height. Just what the doctor ordered for the Cats as they cut the margin back to 33. They're 2 straight 12, trailing North Melbourne 7-3-45. Early stages of the second term here at Docklands. It is North Melbourne by 33 points. It's Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Mick Malthouse and Boomer Harvey.
Yeah, and we've got the privilege of the replay up here. The problem with Griffin Logue just holding there was a big pack emerging. It was, 4-on-4, Mick, maybe 8 players in there, and he was probably never going to mark it. So Griffin Logue should have just held his spot, used his body and punched the ball instead of grabbing and turning. Unfortunately, the umpire was right in a fantastic position and pinged it. But Edwards had to do something because Sherry has been on top of him in a big, big way. So there's a little sneaky win for Edwards.
So one down now. Geelong are able to peg one back. As from the middle here is Sherry, who gets the hand pass from Sheasel, just skies the footy. Dempsey will mark. Hand passes it out to Bruin, who kicks it down the outer side of the ground. Manor marks. Hand passes it along to Humphreys, who's running alongside him. Little chip kick to Graham Myers, who marks. And Geelong moving it down quickly as Myers goes with his trademark flat kick inside forward 50. No mark will be paid to Dangerfield. At the end, it'll be Manor, who's running to the forward 50. Broke the ball himself and his goal. Geelong with 2 goals in quick succession as they work their way back and claw at this margin. North Melbourne's lead is cut back to 27 points. Geelong 3 straight 18. North Melbourne 7-3-45. Geelong with the first 2 goals of the second term after Cooper Trembath missed a sit-up from after about 30 seconds in the second term.
Well, this is not unexpected. We said at the quarter-time break that Geelong will respond to this. They're too good of a football side, and can North Melbourne maintain the pressure? Yes, the goal has been missed by North, and that's behind. But the fact is that you don't give Manor a second chance, because he'll have a shot from anywhere. He puts the blinkers on, and more often than not he does kick them. But the second thing is now North seem to be on the back foot in the contest. Everything at the moment is back foot stuff. So they've got to get back on top by winning the freer ball and trying to get that ball in that forward line without overdoing it.
Out of the middle, Blamire's handball was cut off. Kick forward now into the Geelong forward 50. Blitzar's got hands to it. Then Zerhard tried to take on 3 Geelong Cats, but was taken high in the process. He was almost a little bit lucky. His kick is dangerous. He put it right into the path of Dempsey, who gathers and turns inside 50. Here come the Cats again. Knocked away. Onto the loose footy is Parker. Shares it with O'Sullivan for the Roos. Now Stevens for North Melbourne. Through the middle of Docklands. Kicks to half forward. It's redirected. Getting in front was Broome. Taking the intercept for Geelong. Just starting to get things rolling now as he goes short to O'Sullivan inside the D50.
And then Bruin gets it back from him and chips it to Clark, who marks inside defensive 50. Bruin's still running. Clark hand passes it to him, and Bruin spears the pass forward. Mallon drops the mark, goes back and gathers it. Hand pass to Humphreys, who cleverly just kicks it along the ground, and he's able to find Guthrie. He tried to spear a pass forward to O'Connor, who was knocked a little high by Blamires, and will get the free kick.
Geelong just starting to honouring the lead, Mick, making North Melbourne defend.
O'Connor short to Guthrie, and now Guthrie will pop this one into the right forward pocket, and this time Dangerfield sticks the mark, and we'll have a set shot, difficult angle, about 40 metres out from goal.
Yeah, Geelong are now starting to control the ball, and that's what we expected. It needed the first 5 minutes of the second quarter to re-establish itself. Had a chance, but Geelong have actually taken it right over the second quarter. The stats for the quarter are how many?
Oh, sorry.
No, don't worry. We'll get it. Geelong would be miles in front, I'd imagine.
Dangerfield lines up this kick. It's offline, and it won't even register a score. So no change to the score line here at Docklands. North Melbourne ahead by 27 points. A little earlier in the day, it's a double-header. The AFLW, in the AFLW, North Melbourne's women's side, 73-point winners against Geelong in a big victory for them to start the season.
Daniel brought it back in, but he's turned it over to Warple, who marks 70 out from goal. Just points to the top of the square. He'll set it up. The Flyers come, and Neal over the top. Too big, too strong, and the timing was too good.
There's definitely no wind out there, is there?
There's no wind, but Boomer, and we're not barracking here. Let me just, I can categorically say I'm not barracking. But North have got to re-establish themselves. Right now, Geelong have absolutely, they've flipped this. This is what North were doing early. Geelong are now doing back. To flip it, you have to go and get the hard ball. You have to go and get the contested football.
So Shannon Neal from 30 metres out sails through post high and signals to the Cats faithful to make some noise. Here come the Cats. Margin cut that down to 21. North Melbourne 7-3-45. Geelong 4 straight 24. They've started this second term brightly. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Mick, just some numbers that are a little bit alarming for North Melbourne at the start of this second quarter. Geelong 12 uncontested marks. North Melbourne 0. That's 8 inside 50s to Geelong, 1 to North Melbourne.
And that was in the first 30 seconds.
And we've been going for just on 9 minutes now. So Geelong are doing a lot right. North Melbourne need to get the game back on their terms. Maybe just a kick mark game, just to take this thing out of for 3 or 4 minutes now, Mick.
That's where we're coming from. You don't have to rush back into a game. What you have to do is control the game. Control it means, and now this would be interesting because they've changed the rucks.
Sherry palms it down to Luke Davies-Uniacke, who skies the footy and almost hits the roof as it comes back down, and Lawson Humphrey sits under it.
What I meant by changing rucks, they just changed their whole midfield. It's just, at the moment, Geelong have flipped that on its head.
Pass to Finn O'Sullivan, kicks it to O'Shea Mullen, who hand passes it to Humphreys, running along to his left, kicks down to left half forward. And Darling's back there to hold on to the mark for North Melbourne. Chips it to Wardlaw. Hand passes to Daniel, running through the centre of Docklands. Hand passes it to Shees Lou. Runs around the 360 and fires off the hand pass. Back to Wardlaw, almost run down by Neil. Wardlaw gets the kick away inside forward 50, but Finn O'Sullivan is there to chop it off for the Cats. North Melbourne ahead by 21.
Great pressure by Neil. Key forward running down George Wardlaw there.
Out to Dempsey, then Mullen, then Bailey Smith. Little poker over the top. Probably wasn't the required 15. It was knocked away from Neil, but he's going to win the free kick for a chop of the arms. So just back of a wing.
If it's not 15, it's a chopping in arms in the picture.
Maybe it shouldn't be. Here's Blitzars at the back of the pack. Feeds a teammate in Dempsey. Runs into the open goal. Slams it into the post.
He knew as soon as it left his boot. Now, he only kicked it from 8 metres, so it was a quick reaction. But as soon as he kicked it, he put his hands to his face.
Minor score only and a let-off for the Roos.
Parker kicks it to Shees Lou. Chips it to Zerha. Centre half back for North Melbourne. Haven't kicked a goal in this second term so far. Just the one behind for them as they move it across the outer wing. Sherry with a looping hand pass finds Curtis. He hand passes it away to Banch, who just pops the kick into the right forward pocket. Larkey on the lead will mark.
Yeah.
Well, Mick, we're talking to maybe take the sting out of the game for North Melbourne. They're not doing that.
No.
They're putting speed on ball like they did in the first quarter.
Yeah, but of those 5 possessions, 2 of them were so risky. So you've got to bring the risk out of it. You're not chasing. It's not the last 5 minutes of the game. But nonetheless, it's now in luck. Now this is the captain's opportunity. This is the captain's kick for goal.
Nick Larkey skips in, releases this kick. It goes across the face in the end and will bounce all the way across the face of goal for a throw-in. He just crossed from the left behind post.
So McCartney kicked the ball 45, 50 metres. Honestly, I've got to ask that question.
No, I don't think he's a long kick, Mick.
Yeah, I think he's got 45 metres.
I think he's got 40. I said before, 42 metres. Every player in the competition should be able to kick that. He just poked at that one, didn't he?
Still deep in attack for North Melbourne. From the ball in, Clark now. O'Connor dragged down as he kicked. Only just got boot to ball. Now Bruin cuts a path through the defensive 50. Spies a man out wide. Dempsey takes the mark. He's on the corner of the square. Outer side. Releases Humphreys by hand. Gets onto his left and strokes the ball along the boundary to the long lead of Shannon Neal, who marks on his chest. He comes back in board to Dempsey, who kept on running. It's 2.5 kicks out from goal. Dempsey goes inside 50 for North Melbourne. Getting in front was Hardiman. Flying from the back was Polkinghorn. Couldn't complete the mark. Putting his head over it was Zerha, taken to ground by Brad Close. And they'll have a ball up 48 metres out from Geelong's goal.
North Melbourne have got to realise Dempsey gets the ball on the half back, kicks it, keeps running and gets the ball on the half field. You got to check him. You can't let him get that 1-2.
Warple fed the handball out to Myers, who eluded a tackle. He was legged. Who get a free kick will grind Myers just beyond the paint of 50, and he plays on immediately. Runs around. It's a wonderful smother from Wardlaw, doing Wardlaw things. Cats recover the footy. Warple now. Atkins taken by Zerhard. Taken to ground. Blitzar's in after it. Larkey applies the tackle.
There's not one other player in the competition that smothered that ball, other than George Wardlaw. That was amazing.
That was so good to watch. Tossed up, Blitzar's palms it down. Banch tries to take it for North Melbourne on the turf. It's Humphreys that pulls it out. Wardlaw just punches it into some space. Larkey can take it. He's being tackled by Connor O'Sullivan of the Cats. Brought down, we'll have a ball up in the centre of Docklands Stadium. North ahead by 20 points, 14 minutes played in this second term. Tossed up, Wiltshire comes in trying to pick it up. It's Bruin in the end, and he gets tackled and taken a little high as well. So Bruin with the free kick just outside the centre circles. Can chip it out to Dempsey, standing by himself on the outer wing. Long kick will send it straight to the hot spot. Lowe just punches it away, a huge fist. That lands in Sheasel's lap. He has to hand pass it away quickly. Spills into the hands of Blitzars. Off a step. There's another goal for Geelong. And the Cats continue their comeback in this second term. From a 39-point lead that North Melbourne held at the very beginning of this second term, it's been cut back to 14 points, the Kangas' advantage. Geelong 5-1-31, North Melbourne at 7-3-45. 15 minutes played in the second term. Your ABC Sport experts, Boomer Harvey and Mick Malthouse.
Well, it's unfortunate. It's what we thought, that at quarter time, could they maintain it? Geelong are going to come come at you. There's no question. They're too much of a classy side not to, and they've done it so regularly. That little passage of play prior to that goal kicking, I thought North had now turned this. They've put the screws on a game. They've blocked, tackled, smothered, but they lost control of the football. They didn't win the loose football. Geelong did, and hence, as a consequence, Bluesards kicks the goal.
Over to you, North Melbourne. Margin back to 14. Zerha now under pressure inside defensive 50. Shared it with Comben. Hardiman under equal amounts of pressure. Back they go. Core now. Cool head required from Colby McKercher. He shares it now with Lowe. Received it back, takes a couple of pounces, shows some toe, and then kicks up the line through the hands of Spargo. Arriving on the scene now is Jai Clark. Takes it on the bounce, just to lose Paul Curtis. He had his guts pulled down, got the handball away, put Atkins under the pump. Spargo got him. And he'll go to ground, and there'll be a ball up.
I love that tackle there. Love that hit. It opens up the rib cage, and you just drive yourself straight through it. It was a brilliant bit of play by the young fella.
Wixarms contested the ruck, knocked it down to himself, then fed out a very, very impressive handball. It was now Mullen who hit up the short pass in Polkinghorn, and he marks on his chest, 45 metres out, 45-degree angle in front of Combat. So Jay Polkinghorn now with a chance to cut this margin to just 8 points. North Melbourne led by as many as 39, but it's been 4 goals to none in the second term so far.
7. Chris, Sheasel is responsible for 2 of these. He's flicked the hand pass over the top instead of taking the hit. He's given the ball straight to Geelong, and Geelong have used the ball both times.
From right on the paint of 50, sends it on its way. It's a beautiful looking kick from Jay Polkinghorn, and the Cats are back in business. Polkinghorn has his second, and it's all Geelong in this second term. North Melbourne lead by just 8 points. They're 7-3-45. The Cats now 6-1-37. The Roos have stopped under the lid. Saturday footy on ABC Sports. 17.5 minutes gone, second term.
So what you're saying, Mickey, Sheasel's getting tackled and just disposing of the ball rather than holding it in and creating another stoppage and starting again from there.
Take it.
Yeah.
At quarter time, Boom, it was 22-5.
Yep.
Clearances. So why not have another clearance?
You're dominating in that area.
If you've got the ruckman and you've got the players around it, instead of giving the ball back, this is under 14 stuff. When you do that, and when the sides are on top, it goes to your teammate, and everything looks fantastic. And you go, oh, look at me. But when you're not on top, and they're not on top, you take the hit, and you have another stoppage where you can get your strength there. And right now, Geelong are capitalising on those very ordinary pieces of disposal.
Secondary ball up in the middle as Atkins was tackled and taken to turf. O'Sullivan wins it for the Roos. Hand passes to Sheasel. Flicked it across to Stevens. His kick, a turnover as Guthrie takes it. Hand passes to Smith. Shanks the kick off his boot. He was under pressure as he kicked it. Zerha can pick it up for North Melbourne. Hand passes it away, and it's taken by Hardiman, who hand passes it forward to Stevens, who runs into the brick wall of Guthrie, releases the hand pass. Ball sits on some grass for a little while until Bailey Smith picks it up. Hand passes it to Shannon Neal. Inside forward 50 via Dempsey to Myers. Tried to go too cleverly to close. Has to go back in. Soccers it into the middle of the attacking 50. Warple, hand pass to Shannon Neal. Kicks it towards goal. It's across the face. And just a minor score for Geelong. That lead that North Melbourne has been cut back to 7 points. 19 minutes played in the second.
They just turned the tables
inside
completely.
50s, I just can't see
inside 50s for the quarter, Mick. 15-3, if I'm reading that right, Loz.
Yes, yep.
Well, that's just terrible. That is terrible. It's not bad, it's terrible. You've dominated and you've only got the ball inside 3 times. So something clearly is not right, and we know it's not right. Geelong have made it not right.
We're at left half forward for the Cats. They try to put together another one. Here's Henry running inside 50. Received the handball from close. He gave it off to Lawson Humphries. It is another for the Cats. It's raining goals for Geelong now at Docklands. And doesn't Humphries let this crowd know about it with a big celebration? Margin now just 1 point. Geelong 7-2-44. North Melbourne 7-3-45. And that's a 5th goal in this second term for Geelong. They are well and true back in town now.
That's 6 goals, I think. That's 6. Not only that, that's a half-back flanker following up the ball. That's a half-back flank that's been released. followed the ball, knew that the players in behind him would take up the role if it was a turnover. And as a consequence, by having him run through, North are one man short down there because the player sat back. And if you have got one extra player in the forward line and you're at Geelong, you're going to score.
Mick, the two players this quarter, Humphreys off half-back and Dempsey on the wing has been exceptional.
39 points, so just 1 point the advantage. Simpkin hand passes it to Wardlaw inside 50. He'll send North Melbourne for a rare entry in this second term. The ball will be locked up there. Lawson Humphreys on the bottom of the pack and Banch getting up after tackling him. A ball throw up 35 metres out from North Melbourne's goal, kicking towards the Lockett end in this second term. Edwards and Sherry tussling the ruck. Sherry might have been held onto for a little too long.
Absolutely.
Get him free.
Absolutely.
And Sherry has to do the tackling on Manor and we'll have another ball up in the same spot.
Big blokes in rucks tend to find it hard to get a free kick like that because they're so big.
So they tussle again, those two rucks, and Sherry palms it down towards Sheasel, who glides along the ground for a much-needed goal for North Melbourne. They're first in this second term. They stem the flow of 6 consecutive Geelong goals. And it's a little bit of breathing space, but not much. North Melbourne back ahead by 7 points. North 8-3-51, Geelong 7-2-44. 21 minutes played in this second term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Well, Mick, surprise, there's a stoppage. And Geelong, North Melbourne dominated the stoppage game in the first quarter. Just keep creating stoppages, it's okay.
And who are the two players?
Sheasel ends up kicking the goal.
But he's the big ruckman.
Big X.
The big X.
Hands on the
when
ball.
I saw him run to that forward line, I thought, good on you. Your job is to be a ruckman. It doesn't matter where you are on the ground. Get down to that forward line. He goes up and he puts his big body in position, puts it into a running position where a player can run through onto it. You don't have to be a road scholar to work out those things.
Desperately needed goal for North Melbourne. Sheasel involved again here in the middle of the ground. He's wrapped up in the tackle. Umpire balls it up again. Sherry front spot only as far as Atkins. It comes out to O'Sullivan though for the Roos. He goes on the outside of the right boot, just tries to fashion something towards half forward. There might have been some holding going on Broon. Umpire said play on. Back out to Atkins. Just skies the ball out wide to Bailey Smith, who had time to wait underneath it, take the uncontested mark and then kick a short ball to Jai Clark.
11 metres.
It was about 11 metres, wasn't it?
Oh, well, it certainly wasn't any further.
He goes to right half forward, flying across his Edwards, handed it off to Sean Manor, who lets fly on goal. Instant response from Manor, who kicks his second. And just when North Melbourne were able to cork the flow, the Cats hit right back. Back to 1 point. North Melbourne 8-3-51. Geelong 8-2-50. 23 and a half gone.
Mick, they're just dropping their eyes. 24-5 uncontested marks.
Yeah. And so, a lot of those inside the forward line.
They are. And Geelong, North Melbourne want to play back shoulder. That's okay. We'll hit up and we'll get a little bit of speed on ball. That was fantastic by Edwards. Landed. Dished the ball off to Manor before he even knew it, and Manor, he just doesn't miss. It's 45 on the run with pressure coming to his right side of his right leg.
Yep.
And he just doesn't miss. He's a good player, isn't he?
Oh, where was he? Why was he picked at 21? 18 leaving. Yep. So let's say 21. He was picked at 26, wasn't he?
Yep. He's now 29 years old, Sean Manor, 57 games, but has been a star for Geelong since coming in. He can kick him from anywhere. Like you said, Sheasel takes this one from the middle, kicks inside forward 50, but Stewart sits back and intercepts for Geelong.
That's a bad kick because he kicked the ball to where Geelong players dominated. Had it gone deeper, Geelong under real pressure deep.
Chips to Jack Henry and Bruin, who puts it long down the city side wing of Dockland. Zerhard chasing after it, carries it over the boundary line. And we'll have a throw in at half forward for the Cats, who are now just 1 point behind North Melbourne, despite being down by 39 points at the start of this term. It's Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Can't keep a good club down for too long. Cats have made this a ripping contest. Hacked out of the contest by Sherry. Stewart comes up to the wing, picks it up off the ground, feeds it back to Guthrie for Geelong. Kicks to left half forward. Big contest. Bodies everywhere. McKercher emerges with the footy. Gives the 1-2 to Hardiman. Inside defensive 50 North Melbourne. Little poke pass is good to Logue as they try and get the switch going. He sees something he likes, middle of the ground. It just hung in the air. Terrific defensive effort from Mullen. Knocked it out of the grasp of Parker. Got it to close. And he makes North Melbourne pay with another. Defensive effort supreme from the Cats. And Brad Close, the beneficiary, he gets the goal. And Geelong all of a sudden lead this one by 5 points. 9-2-56 go the Cats. North Melbourne 8-3-51. 25 and a half gone. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Luke Parker, I think the player was, Mick, that probably could have come forward to the ball.
Senior player, 250 game plus, thinks on the ground that everything stops. When that ball comes at you from the back line, and you know the back line, Geelong's backline players behind you, you have to come forward. He comes forward one step, he marks that. That ball is now turned around and into North Melbourne's forward line. No, a senior player like that, he's paid a massive penalty.
And it was the Geelong player Mullen who came forward and actually did the defensive work.
So a 44-point turnaround from Geelong from the start of this second term as they take the lead for the first time this afternoon. Spargo puts the kick inside forward 50 towards Darling. Tumbles along the turf but clunks the mark.
Well, that's a great mark. I thought he was finished a couple of years ago, Jack Darling. You put the ball in his train tracks. He is a big, big man, and that was an incredible mark because he had his player. I think, is it Jack Henry?
Yes.
Jack, he's one of the best backline players in the competition. He was all over him, just beautifully balanced, but that's a special mark. Ordinary kick going in, but a special mark.
Jack Darling will be directly in front of goals, 35 metres out to give North Melbourne back the lead. It is straight as an arrow, and late in this second term, Jack Darling puts North back ahead by 1 point. He kicks his third for the match. And North Melbourne 9-3-57, holding a slender lead against Geelong 9-2-56. But despite being up by 39 points at the start of this second term, it's Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport with Brent Harvey and Mick Moldhouse.
Can I just say, what a ball game! What a second quarter! That's 10 goals. That is 10 goals for the quarter.
I hate it, Boomer. You might like it. You're a little one of those sort of run around, kick the goal forwards. I'm a backline player.
Yeah,
Loves a bit of
shut the game down, Mick.
Trench stuff.
Boring as bat. You know what?
Yeah.
No, well, but it's 8. I mean, the unfortunate part for North Melbourne is 8 goals to 2
yes,
for the quarter. But there's 10 goals lost kicked in the quarter, so I'm happy.
No one could accuse you of bias.
Boomer, Larky, he's just not. I'd be playing him really high.
Get him up high, get him involved.
Get him involved in the game.
And there's a big collision in the middle of the ground here. This is going to be a free kick going Geelong's way. It is to Mullen. He's got Smith around the back, receives the handball. Kick isn't much chop, but it's out in front of Dangerfield. He's got plenty of time to operate. You don't need to give him much time. The champion, Patrick Dangerfield. But he misses to the near side.
Once upon a time, he turns on his right, turns on a dime and
is that his first position?
Second, I think, Mick.
Second for the game.
Yeah, the set shot that he missed, but we haven't seen much of him at all, Mick. So he comes back after a couple of weeks out from injury. Ball's brought back in from Aidan Court, who takes a bounce running through 50 and kicks this all the way over the halfway line. Clark will gather, hand pass to Fino Salem, hand pass to Stewart, will kick Geelong forward where Bailey Smith will mark.
Oh, they're all over the place, Geelong.
Uncontested again.
Aren't they? Oh, they're out.
Bailey Smith finds Shannon Neal, who takes an uncontested mark at right half forward. And Shannon Neal will drop this one inside the right forward pocket. Just didn't work for Ollie Henry, that is, in that situation. And we'll have a throw in inside forward 50 for Geelong. Scores are level, 28 minutes played in the second term.
And Neil missed one there. Graham Myers was leading up at him and they've been honouring the lead, so not sure why he didn't kick it. And Myers actually told him afterwards, lower those eyes, big fella.
20-7 inside 50s, or am I just seeing things?
Inside defensive 50 for the Cats, all tied up.
20 inside 50s to 7 for the quarter, Mick.
Yeah.
Massive.
It's been an avalanche Geelong's way in this second term. Out of the ruck contest. There's a whistle.
Ruckman.
This will go Geelong's way.
Razor, there's been a lot of free kicks. No, Razor can't hear me.
He's an umpire.
He doesn't want to comment. He's not going to comment anyway, is he? He's going to say it was the right decision every day of the week.
Razor got the fingers in the ears downstairs, does he?
There's no.
Going to get something to
work out. He's watching the screen to see if he gets it right. It's a raffle to Ruckman. Absolute raffle.
So it'll give Mitch Edwards a chance to kick his second from about 35 metres out on a slight angle. Tristan Sherry stands the mark. He sets sail. He didn't love it off the boot, but he's just squeezed it home inside the left goal post. And Geelong regain the lead. They're back out by one straight kick. They lead by 6. 10-3-63 the Cats. North Melbourne 9-3-57. And it comes via the boot of the young inclusion, Mitch Edwards. Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, 2 goals he's kicked both from free kicks. I'm just still can't work out. I can't remember the first one, but that one there. 2 ruckmen locked together. In fact, I'm just going to watch it now.
Too high. It's just the wrist.
Well, let's go back again.
It's just the wrist over the shoulder. It's nothing.
Both shoulders are over. They're both over the net.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot in it, Mick. You're right. It's a raffle. The good thing for Edwards, though, Tristan Sherry was nearly the best player on the ground in that first quarter with all the clearances that North Melbourne got.
Yep.
He has now kicked 2 goals this quarter to even it up for himself.
Yep.
Ball back in the middle. Bailey Smith tries to funnel it out, but Luke Davies-Uniacke catches it, hand passes it to Wardlaw. Inside 50, you'll send North Melbourne. Darling runs onto it, leaves the footy behind. It's taken by Mark O'Connor, who just clears the footy from the danger zone. Spills down to Bailey Smith, who runs across the AFL logo and will put this kick inside forward 50. It's a one-on-one. Core v Neil, and Core wins out, takes it. Waits with the footy for a second before hand passing to Comben. He can chip it close to the boundary line. It'll go out of bounds. This will be a lasso free kick. Zerha and Ollie Dempsey chasing it. And Ollie Dempsey will be the recipient of it for the Cats. His side up by 6.
Shadows of half-time. Chance here for the Cats. Manar marks tight on the boundary. Cuts inside and he hits up a target inside 50 in Warple.
The speed that Manor goes at, it just makes something happen. Stevens didn't want to tackle him then because he thought he was going to get stepped. He got stepped anyway. Then he's on his left foot and he just... It's fantastic. You know what? I actually love the way he plays, Mick. We've pumped him up a little bit, but there he just puts speed on the game through him.
What's what Geelong
through
have
his
done,
legs. It's been fantastic to watch.
You see a lot of games that are swung around, but this one here is just flipped on its head.
James Warple from about 45 metres out, 45-degree angle. Can't make North Melbourne pay on the buzzer. Hangs it out to the left for a minor score. But Geelong will take a 7-point advantage into the main break. They trailed by 39 points earlier in this game, and they convert that into a 7-point advantage. They're 10-4, 64, leading North Melbourne 9-3, 57. And it was an avalanche in that second term. It was goals to Polkinghorne, 2 to Sean Manor, 2 to Mitch Edwards, 1 to Lawson Humphreys, goals to Shannon Neal, Brad Close and Mark Blitzhalves as well. Just the 2 goal kickers in that second term for North Melbourne, Harry Sheasel and Jack Darling, who kicked his 3rd for the game. So a 7-point advantage to Geelong. What a turnaround, Boomer Harvey.
Well, it was unbelievable, wasn't it? And it was a tale of, and I can't say 2 halves, but it was a tale of 2 quarters just then. Uncontested mark was the biggest stat of the quarter for me. Geelong controlled the game. 30 uncontested marks, Mick, to 7. So Geelong just got the game back on their terms. You could see the way they just dismantled North Melbourne in that quarter. 79 disposals, North Melbourne. Geelong 111. Now, clearances, I think, was thereabouts, 10 each for the quarter. But the big one, Mick, you don't see this happen very often. Inside 50s, 8 to 22. That is an absolute dominant performance by any team in the competition.
Staggering. And clearances are closed up a little bit as well, Boomer. You know, when we had 22 to 5, so North went 10 to 10. So I'm pretty confident to say that'd be about right. Contested possessions, North have 29 that quarter, and North Melbourne really they had 33. So and you don't have to get too many contested football if you're running the ball into the back line with no one chasing you or little pressure, and then finding targets in the middle of the ground, and then runners on the side of you, then finding yourself in the forward line. I mean, that was 9 goals for quarter, and you've kicked 1 in the first quarter. Mentally, you've got to. It's almost like get Sigmund Freud here and say, listen, we need you to have a look at what is going through players' heads when in the first quarter you have 71 possessions, the second quarter you have 111. That's Geelong. So 71 to 111. So they've gone 40 more. North Melbourne have gone back 30. There's a turnover of 70 possessions, and you've got to say now, how can that be? Did you lose players? No. Did you have the same players out there? Yes. Same ruckman? Yes. Same midfield? Yes. Same forwards? Same backs? Yes. Well, what's the turnaround? Watch the turnaround. And
So was it more adjustment from Geelong in that second term, or was it? Yeah.
Both. I have a feeling that when something to me said that when North missed that first goal, there was just a little bit of the air went out of the tyre, and Geelong then rushed it down and kicked 2 quick goals from.
Nick, I had that on my sheet. If he kicks that, you go 50-6.
Yes,
that's nearly like, oh my God,
we'll save ourselves next week.
How are we going to? We can't fix this.
That's right. But when you in today's football, well, it doesn't matter because they've seen yesteryear where there's been a lot of goals scored. You once you get a roll on, and then you start to. And I've said this to one of my former players who's in another club. You can't stare at the scoreboard because that is it's a real football cardinal sin, because what you end up doing is you worry about the scoreboard. North, to me, once that first one went through, the second one went through, the third one went through, North are looking at the scoreboard thinking, where's our 7-goal lead gone? It's just, and they got caught up in the Geelong style, which is superior to them because they weren't defending. You can bring Geelong back, you can bring any side back with great tackling, salt on the football, controlling the ball yourself. They did none of those three, and Geelong did the reverse. Geelong were able to run the ball. They're back. The number of times, Boomer, that the ball went from the centre of the ground from North Melbourne, particularly late in that quarter, into a half kick, and who was there? Stewart and
Henry was down.
Henry, both there. Not deep, not shallow. So what you're doing is you're feeding Geelong's strength. And straight away, when they get that ball across that half-back line, up goes to Dempsey, through the middle, and then it's a mad scramble to get back, and they couldn't get back in time.
Mick, so I've got a question for you, right? So that happens. The score is 44-6 at quarter time. You come out, you miss the first goal. Don't worry too much about that. But I think I might have posed a question in there somewhere. You don't have to wait to the end of the quarter to slow the game down. Could have North Melbourne just got the game on their control and for 4 or 5 minutes just play kick, mark.
They did.
Mark, after Geelong kicked the first 3 in 6 minutes.
Yes, but I reckon they did that at about the 20-minute mark.
Too late?
Far too late.
Yep.
Far too late. Because I was still trying to rush the ball into a forward line that had the extra one Geelong player. And not only that, the ball that went in there was not the same as the first quarter. It was a haphazard thing that they. Larkey, if it's not marked, it's on the ground, he's in real trouble. Jack Darling's the same. Jack Darling needs to mark. Well, he's played well, Jack Darling, make no mistake, but he can't get the ball on the ground. Curtis is totally out of the game. So all of a sudden you look at the forward line and go, well, one, it wasn't going in.
They stayed in the same mode, though, didn't they?
They did.
It was speed on ball the whole time.
Yeah,
Taking this thing out of it and playing the game on your term. Because North Melbourne probably didn't have to score at that stage. No. Just don't let Geelong score.
That's it.
For 5 minutes, take this thing out of the game. That 3 goals and they kick another 3 in a row after that.
Exactly.
You don't want that to happen.
No.
It's easily said, but you've got to have a plan for that during in your method of coaching, don't you?
That's exactly where you come. Boomer, you're spot on. It's okay to say, that's what you've got to do. No, it's simply
it's
at this level, that's what you've got to do.
Yep.
You've got an experienced coach. You've got a very experienced side. Make no mistake about it. They've got a very experienced side. They're up against an experienced side. They're up against a very good football coach and experienced coach. So what you've got to do is exactly that, is take a little bit of air out of the game by, let's not mad rush. Let's do what you suggested, is slow the game down, take a couple of marks. Because let me tell you, Geelong fall off.
Yep.
If you start to go across the ground, they'll fall off because they'll fall back. So you can hit that 45-metre target or lateral target. Okay, 6 or 7 seconds, hit another one, there's another one. And umpires don't give 6 or 7. They give 8 or 9 or 10 seconds these days.
Mick, the 4 players for me, and it just so happens that they got the most disposals, but Bailey Smith was tremendous with his run that quarter. I thought Ollie Dempsey worked the wing super well. He had 10 in the quarter. Lawson Humphries was the one off half-back.
Yeah.
He just kept going. And I thought Tanner Braun used his pace and used his legs to break lines.
Yeah, off the back.
They were the 4 players, and I'm just looking at the stats. They're the 4 that stood out, but they had 4 of them.
Yep.
Most possessions on the ground that quarter,
and Manor doesn't miss on their forward lines.
Manor was fantastic.
Yep.
And Big
Edwards kicks 2 from.
He evened up the contest between the 2 big ruckmen.
Yeah, Neil takes the big mark, and all the way through. Polkinghorn still delivered. He's a very going to be a very good player. Hardly had a bad player that quarter. Whereas you look at North Melbourne, you think, well, who was any good? Who was a player that, like the smother you said about Wardlaw?
Wardlaw was fantastic.
So he has one back. I thought that Cherry was still adequate, even though he gave away, or supposedly gave away those free kicks. But none. The load was ordinary. Larkey, very ordinary. I just don't know how they get him into the game.
And Mick, there were little mistakes.
Yeah.
You spoke about Sheasel.
Yep, twice.
Giving up the ball. Parker not coming forward as an experienced player to mark that ball.
Yeah.
And
Simpkin hardly seen.
Yep. So it was a couple of costly mistakes that really hurt
Terrible
Melbourne,
mistakes.
unfortunately, that quarter.
Yeah.
Such an entertaining first half that we've had, given that North Melbourne were up by 38 points at the quarter-time break. And now, as we sit here at half-time, it's Geelong leading by 7 points. So a 46-point turnaround from Geelong from the early stages of that second term means we've got an enthralling second half coming your way in just a moment. At half-time, it is Geelong 10-4-64 leading North Melbourne 9-3-57. We'll update you on the cricket. We'll get to your text messages on 0437 774 774 in just a moment. But first, we're going to pause and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Western Australian Premier Roger Cook says the Prime Minister is backing his state when it comes to WA's share of the GST. The Productivity Commission's interim report on the 2018 GST deal that boosted WA's slice of the pie found it was a costly and inequitable mistake. Meanwhile, Anthony Albanese has said that WA will get what he calls fair share. Roger Cook says he welcomes a visit by the Prime Minister ahead of the Secret Harbour by-election.
He has come here more often than all the previous 4 Prime Ministers combined. He gets WA. He knows that the Western Australia is the engine room of the national economy, and that's why he's backing our team and he's backing our state and he's backing our situation when it comes to the GST.
Iran is calling on the United States to accept defeat, while US President Donald Trump ramps up his rhetoric, saying he'll claim the Strait of Hormuz as American territory. Chelsea Hetherington has more.
Speaking to supporters in New York, Donald Trump has warned Americans to brace for continued high fuel prices, saying that's the cost of preventing Iran from developing nuclear weapons. The price of petrol in the US has increased about 29% since the start of the year. Mr. Trump has labelled Iran as evil and says America is doing a great service for the world, adding once Tehran is defeated, he will declare the Strait of Hormuz US territory. Iran has responded with the country's deputy foreign minister saying so long as you do not accept the reality of defeat and stop indulging in fantasies, Iran will continue to enforce the blockade of the vital waterway.
South Korea's president has proposed a dialogue with North Korea to bring an official end to the war on the Korean peninsula. No peace treaty was ever signed after a ceasefire agreement ended fighting in the Korean War during the early 1950s. President Lee Jae-myung proposed the dialogue in a speech marking 71 years since Korea's liberation from Japanese rule at the end of World War II. The international NGO Save the Children says it's looking to respond to the powerful earthquake in Indonesia once initial assessments have been completed. Officials in Indonesia say at least 20 people have been killed following the magnitude 7.7 quake that struck off the coast of the island of Flores. Save the Children Indonesia's Fadi Usman says the quake presents special risks to children.
For children, this is a frightening and dangerous situation. They face the risk of injury, displacement, and significant emotional distress. We urge to remain calm, stay alert of aftershocks, and keep children in safe areas.
Returning to Western Australia, where a former Nationals candidate has been charged over a fatal hit and run and is now facing a number of other unrelated charges. Andrew Hanlon has the details.
Benjamin Thomas Simpkins was previously charged after he allegedly struck and killed a 49-year-old man with his car near Katanning in WA's Great Southern region in May. A further investigation allegedly found Mr Simpkins falsely claimed to hold a university degree and falsified academic records to gain employment as a cardiac scientific officer at a WA hospital in 2023. Police also alleged the 26-year-old provided false information to the Supreme Court about his volunteer work within the local community. Mr Simpkins is facing a number of charges, including attempting to pervert the course of justice and gaining benefit by fraud. He's due to face court on these additional charges next month.
An exhibition exploring the history of shopping centres will feature when the Powerhouse Museum at Parramatta in Sydney's West opens its doors on November the 7th. The more than $900 million project in Sydney's West has been under construction since 2022. New South Wales Arts Minister John Graham says the exhibition titled The Mall will look at the culture of shopping centres over time.
Some of the early history will be pictured there, both from this country and elsewhere. And it's a real look at something that's often been the heart of culture in suburbs in Sydney and around the world.
This is ABC News.
Okay, let's do it. The ABC Listen app now has a space just for kids and families. The only place for new episodes of Bluey Listen Along. Radio, podcasts and routines. I love it. Everything families need anytime on the ABC Listen app.
Get ready for a year of Test cricket like you've never heard before.
Pitches up, hits the bat. How is that? Out. It's LBW.
Grandstand cricket.
12 months, 20 Test matches, New Zealand at home over summer, the 3 most iconic overseas tours, the 150th anniversary Test under lights at the MCG.
Driving through the covers and crunching it away to the boundary.
And it starts now with Australia versus Bangladesh.
Pitch out the leg before, finger goes up and Cummins strikes.
Listen to every ball live from the top end on ABC Listen. Just look for the cricket button.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Dempsey standing by himself on the outer wing. Long kick will send it straight to the hot spot. Lowe just punches it away. A huge fist that lands in Sheasel's lap. He has to hand pass it away quickly. Spills into the hands of Blitzarves. Off a step. There's another goal for Geelong.
We're a left half forward for the Cats. They try to put together another one. Here's Henry running inside 50. Received the handball from close. He gave it off to Lawson Humphries. It is another for the Cats. It's raining goals for Geelong now at Docklands.
Tussle again, those two rucks. And Sherry palms it down towards Sheasel, who glides it along the ground for a much-needed goal for North Melbourne. Their first in this second term.
Jai Clark. He goes to right half forward, flying across his Edwards, handed it off to Sean Manor, who lets fly on goal. Instant response from Manor, who kicks his second. Low, as they try and get the switch going. He sees something he likes, middle of the ground, it just hung in the air. Terrific defensive effort from Mullen. Knocked it out of the grasp of Parker, got it to close, and he makes North Melbourne pay with another.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
Well, it was a case of anything you can do, I can do better in that second term from Geelong. North Melbourne kicked 7 of the first 8 goals of this match to jump out to a 39-point lead over the Cats before Geelong kicked 6 straight amongst 10 second quarter goals to take a 7-point advantage into the main break. It was an enormous turnaround in a game of 2 quarters, and the question will be, can North Melbourne find something to hit back with? 10-4-64 the Cats, North Melbourne 9-3-57. There's another game in play as we speak as well at the Gabba. It's between Brisbane and the Gold Coast, and the Lions lead that one 4-5-29 to the Suns 2-7-19 with about 6 minutes to go in the first half. And earlier the game between Richmond and St Kilda, it was the Saints 49-point winners at the MCG. AFLW action this afternoon as well. It was the precursor to the game here between North Melbourne and Geelong, and on that occasion it was the Roos W team getting it done over the Cats by 73 points as their back-to-back defence of their premierships gets underway in perfect fashion. So the Roos with a job to do at Docklands. They trail Geelong by 7 points at the main break.
Mick, a cricket update as well. Oh, he's peering over my shoulder. 4 for 125 is what the Aussies are at. So Steve Smith must have got out not too long ago. Of course, there's a full call available on the ABC Listen app. Corbin Middlemass and Ben Cameron are up there with Jim Maxwell and the team. So 4 for 125 in chase of 426 that Bangladesh.
They'll be beaten by an innings and they won't make a change, because I remember back 7 years ago how they were able to get out of it. It makes no sense. Anyway, we're here to talk football. But
speaking of being beat by an innings, this is a team that lost to Zimbabwe by an innings,
yes,
and the Cricket Australia 11 by an innings.
Yes.
That's right.
Coming into this Test match,
yes,
and they are demolishing the Australians.
Well, and what form do they go in with? Where's the form? How can you pick a side? Boland had form. They didn't pick him.
Yeah.
And there's
and you win a toss
Mick, they don't
on
like
something
the Victorians.
that moves sideways, and you, because you're so clever, you go, oh, we'll bat on something that's going sideways. Oh, that's pretty clever.
Mick, I'm going there. Bowling. Why aren't they playing Victorians?
Why don't we go and have
There's not one Victorian in the team, is there?
Don't think so.
I don't think there would be.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's...
Hazelwood like, no.
What's that called? It's Victorianism or something.
Are we going to take the East Coast bias, but we're going to call it bias against Victoria?
You've got a Tasmanian in the box, mate. Don't talk to me about that stuff.
Hey, have I missed something? Harry Sheasel's name on our stat sheet is in black. That means an injury.
Well, check it with Ray. I think we saw he might have had some blood on his face towards the end of that second term.
I can't see him out in the ground for the warm-up. I might be missing something, but...
I reckon maybe it's a poke in the eye. I know his eye was swollen up.
Yeah, it looks like he might be out.
Out?
Yeah, Razor, what do you got for us?
Yeah, Harry Sheasel is out for the game. He's got a bit of an issue, a knock to the cheekbone. So I don't have the exact outcome of that, but yeah, he'll take no further part in the second half.
Harry Sheasel.
Well, I miss him.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, it is, because when you've got two stars in there in Sheasel and Luke Davies-Uniacke, now you've only got to stop one. I know Wardlaw and Simpkin started the game really well, but they're probably the two prime movers for North Melbourne through that midfield.
Gee, it started with so much promise for North Melbourne and all.
You can't trust it, Dave. Two things.
That was
you can't
the
trust
question,
North, you
wasn't it?
can't trust Geelong. Sorry, you can't trust North, and you know Geelong are going to keep coming at you. So, the only one that Geelong would be looking at going, we've got to get Paddy Dangerfield with as much game time as we can.
Mick, we spoke about this before the game. So now he's had 2 disposals for the game, and he's been stuck inside 50.
But he's in the bench.
Do you as a coach now say, you know what, let's roll you through the middle for a couple of minutes and then get forward? Touch the footy, Paddy. We know you're a star. Touch the footy.
Yep.
And then once you get your confidence back up, go forward and hit the scoreboard for us.
And even if you're in the middle, Boomer, play a little bit behind the ball. Just find the ball.
Yep.
Let the players will help you. You just get in a good position, we'll find you.
All of a sudden, it's North Melbourne with their backs against the wall. Their superstar, Harry Sheasel, is out of the game, and they trail by 7. Back underway here at Docklands. They scrounge for it at ground level. Edwards just tapped it out towards Manor. He's taken in a tackle, and we're going to do it all again right in the middle of the ground. Geelong lead by 7. They were down by 39 points at one stage. North Melbourne got the jump. Edwards just slaps it forward for the Cats. Close gets the footy, and he's taken in the tackle. And we'll restart once more. Umpire arrives, throws it straight up in the air. Sherry knocks it out to the near side. Getting there first was O'Connor. Blameyer's had him, and another stoppage to start this third term.
And that's where Geelong have improved dramatically for the first quarter. Their stoppage work now is a lot more in the trenches, so it's not allowing North to get the ball free like it is now. And there's a classical case of one North Melbourne picks the ball up and he's tackled by 2 Geelong players who are getting a lot of numbers there.
So tossed up half forward for the Cats. The umpires found a shepherding free kick in the ruck contest. Tristan Sherry's free. This one's a long way from goal though. Takes it at half back, chips it out wide to Simpkin.
Well, Simpkin has got to improve. If Sheasel has and won't come back on, well, this is where Simpkin's got to stand up and go to Smith. Even if he goes to Smith, at least he's going to go where the ball is.
So darts the kick to Finn O'Sullivan, who goes right down the wing to half forward. Connor O'Sullivan's at the back there to punch it away for Geelong. Bruin roves and picks it up. Hand passes it to Stewart. Kicks long down the wing towards Neil, who dropped it at the last second, which has allowed Corin in. The two wrestle. And in the end, Close picks it up. Just doubles the kick forward. Manor takes the footy. He doesn't go for goal this time. He goes across the face into the right forward pocket. It was 3 Kangaroos all against Polkinghorne, and it's the Kangas that win out. Zerhard takes it, just skies a footy out of the danger zone to half back for North. It'll work for Blamire as he gets tackled, brought to the turf. The umpire calls it holding without it. Tom Blamires wins the free for North half back. Geelong ahead by 7, early stages of the third.
Boomer, would you bring Curtis up on the ball just for 5 minutes? He's just been right out of the play.
Yeah, he's certainly one of those players that can go through there just for that little burst of player, similar to what we're talking about Patrick Dangerfield.
Chance here for the Roos. Larky's in space. He's got a man going back towards goal. It was Trembath. Couldn't quite keep his feet in the one-on-one contest. Knocked it towards goal. It's into the post for a minor score, the first of the third term.
Not a good kick.
That was an interesting kick, wasn't it, Mick? Why, if 49 metres out, why wouldn't you go directly to the goal?
Yeah. Well, not only that, to put the ball on top of someone's head with a backline players are going to eat that.
So Geelong ahead by 6 points. Dempsey hand passes it to Bruin straight through the centre of the ground. He's able to find Manor. Hand passes it to Atkins. There'll be a free kick and it'll be coming back.
Pushing it back as he kicked it.
Just need to go a little bit lower, get the hips or get the buttocks.
Yeah. Yep.
Just got in the middle of the back, unfortunately. It's the right play. You can't tackle. You've got to push.
It's a little shove and Tom Atkins will get it back in the centre of Docklands. Chips it out wide to Guthrie, who can set it up to Humphreys, who marks it right half forward. 60 metres out from home. Just dabs this one inside 50. Blitzard's on the lead. Clunks the mark.
Well, they're just getting numbers in the right position outside the front 50 so they can use the ball around in a basketball style. North Melbourne all sitting back. If you looked at the first quarter, what North were doing, they were putting pressure on that ball getter and ball kicker, so therefore there was no easy freebies. Now it's just opening right up. North are falling right back into an old game style.
Geelong ahead by a goal in the early stages of this third term. Blitzard puts this one towards the sticks and has the finish. The opening goal of the third term going the way of the Cats, and the lead for Geelong is pushed out to 12 points. 11-4-70 Geelong, North Melbourne 9-4-58. 4 minutes played in the third term. Your ABC Sport experts, Prima Harvey and Mick Moldhouse.
Mick, they shouldn't have got that. Geelong shouldn't have got. It was a fantastic play by them, but they shouldn't have got that ball through the middle to Manor. No. I don't know where his direct opponent is.
It was nowhere.
So what Sean Manor is doing, he starts in the centre circle for the ball up and rushes forward, and then Atkins comes onto the ball. But someone's got to be accountable. You've got to know. And in this occasion, it was McKercher at half back and also Simpkins through the middle. You've got to know when that handover's coming.
Exactly.
You know Manor's not going to play on the ball the whole time.
No.
And it's smart play by Geelong, and it's not so smart play by North Melbourne.
Out of the middle go North Melbourne. Simpkin elects to take a bounce. He shows some toe to his opponent. Let's fly from just beyond the paint of 50 all the way to the teeth. Kept in by Darling. Goes in after it up against the boundary. Humphreys now for Geelong. Feeds the handball to Guthrie. Now Stewart right on the goal line. Broon. Now Smith. They link up. Around the boundary they go, the Cats. Beyond defensive 50. Getting in front was Davies Union out. Couldn't take the mark. It fell out to O'Connor. Swung a ball beyond the near wing. Off hands. Parker arrived first, immediately claimed, cries of ball. Neil hangs on. Umpire arrives.
That's Geelong's desperation. That ball's an inch out from being scored upon. They wouldn't allow it. They had the numbers there. They knew when you've got numbers, you can throw the ball around, which they did. The hand pass it 3 times in the 9 metre square and still come away with it.
Tough in the clinches here. Smith on the outside gives it to Neil. He tried to get it back to Smith, but only as far as Core, and then Smith played tackler. It spilled out to Simpkin, and we tried to get the running McKercher on the fly. He just missed it. Hacked out of mid-air inside forward 50 for the Cats now. Only as far as Zerha. Now Stevens. Now Daniel. He's on centre wing. Out of side. Cuts a ball inside dangerously to McKercher, but he's good enough to take the mark. Releases the running Hardiman, who kicks inside 50 for North Melbourne. Trembath from too deep. Couldn't take the mark. Out to Spargo. Now Curtis. Handball now Simpkin. One way, then the other. Gets rid of Broon. Onto his left. High ball towards the teeth of goal. They wrestle after it, Larkey and Henry, but it's knocked over for a ball in deep in attack for the Roos.
Yeah, they did well there, the Cats. That's just pressure.
It's twice.
North Melbourne, North Melbourne probably should have had 4, maybe 5 shots on goal.
Yep.
And the pressure to come forward and just keep tackling the Kangas was outstanding.
But this is better by North, getting more numbers where the ball. Well, so they clear the ball so well, North.
Off the boot of Warple, he kicked it out to half-back for Geelong. Ball goes into dispute, though, on the outer wing. Running after it and getting there first is Ollie Henry of the Cats. Can hand pass it away and share it with Neil, who hand passes to Manor. Hard-working as always. Takes a bounce. Kicks it inside forward 50 for Close, who's running onto it. And the bounce doesn't favour Manor's kick in the end, and it goes through for a point. Nearly went all the way, Sean Manor there. Just a minor score. Geelong ahead by 13 points now. 7 minutes played in the third.
It's been played from one end to the other, and twice North really should have scored anything, scored something. Geelong's defence was outstanding.
McKercher into Spargo, who kicks up the wing. That's a good strong mark taken by Lawson Humphreys.
Fantastic,
right on the logo.
Beautiful mark.
And he goes inside. Dangerous ball now to Atkins. He's going to go further afield now to Dempsey on the far wing. And he goes to right half forward. Neil presents. Marks out in front of Zerha. Too far out to score. Knocked out of his hand. Zerha dicing with danger. Umpire arrives on the scene, just cautions him and says, take your kick, Shannon. He's going to concede some ground here and go all the way back to Jack Henry. In the middle of Docklands, across the ground they come to the near side. Humphreys, short ball is good. Now to Bruin.
There's got to be North players just wandering around by themselves because...
Here's O'Sullivan. The kick inside 50 finally comes. Ollie Henry flies at it. Was taken out of the contest, and there's a free kick. It is going that way. Cats will have a shot on goal here from 35 out, 45-degree angle.
There's a lot going off the ball there. 2 Geelong players had gone to ground while that ball was getting chipped outside their forward 50. I'm not too sure, but the Geelong players were getting into Aiden Core.
Just a little late chop on Ollie Henry from Aiden Core. As Henry lines up, he's going to kick around the corner here. So Henry improves the angle. Too much bend on the ball, and he registers only a minus score. Raise on the boundary.
You can understand the feedback from the Geelong players to Aiden Core. I mean, that is just, it's a lazy arm interference free kick that just gives a direct shot on goal. It's got to be better than that.
Some love coming in from the text line for you, Ray. 0437 774 774. T says he's enjoying the North Melbourne and Geelong call. Very clear descriptions, insightful comments. And he's loving the Tuesday battles from Ray Chamberlain with Gary Lyon on tally. So never one to shy away from an argument. Ray Chamberlain on the boundary this afternoon for us. The ball is tossed in, centre wing outer side of the ground. Geelong ahead by 14 in this third term. It's taken by Atkins, who jumps up to have it, to pull it in. And George Wardler will take him to the turf. We'll have another ball up in the same position. Andrew has sent one in. No description of where he is, but Mick Malthouse is the only special commentator I like listening to. Clear and concise.
Thanks very much.
Sorry, Boomer. Thanks for coming. Oh, and here we go. A big shout out to Boomer from No Name here. Unfortunately, I'm not at the game today. Go Kangas.
He's fantastic.
So love for everyone. As the ball is brought back into play from the ball up. It's taken by McKercher, who hand passes it away and will be crunching tackle on Zerhard that stops the footy from going anywhere else. Centre half forward for the Cats. Will have a ball up. Geelong ahead by 14. Just ticked over 10 minutes in the third term.
There's a hand pass not need to be given because the player was always going to get tackled. Why not take responsibility yourself?
Dangerfield, little 8-metre ball inside 50. Polkinghorn, searching handball. Parker first to arrive as they push deep towards goal, the Roos. Zerha now kicks beyond defensive 50 to a one-on-one, wanted bench. The little operator was pretty good in the contest. Split it and then got it to Blamires, who got it to Luke Davies-Uniacke. Kicks up the line now. He wanted Dawson on a long lead, but reaching up above his head, he's unable to take the mark. It spins out for a ball in right in front of the interchange benches. Geelong 14 points to the good. 10.5 gone in this third term. Saturday footy for ABC Sport. Chris Rowbottom, Lauren Borden, Boomer Harvey and Mick Malthouse with you. As Blitzarves gets to the front in the ruck contest, knocks it out toward the boundary. Bruin arrives first. Little handball over the top. Picked off by Wardlaw, who just tried to stay inside the field of play, unable to do so. And another ball in.
Gone pretty tall, the Kangas up forward. You got Jack Darling, Will Dawson and Nick Larkey trying to stretch the Geelong defenders.
Well, that's not the way you stretch. You're going to stretch them with speed. Geelong eat that.
Harry Sheezel out for the remainder of the game for North Melbourne with a cheekbone issue. Came out of the game at half-time. The ball's tossed in and it's wrapped up on the AFL logo for another ball up. Kircher and O'Connor. And the footy back to the umpires. Sherry and Blitzarves tussle. Sherry wanted a free kick, didn't get one. It's taken by Finn O'Sullivan, though, who just kicks it away into some space. Lowe picks it up, hand pass to Blamires at right half back, can chip it forward. Wardlaw will mark. Just backwards of centre wing. North now down by 14 points after being up by 39 points at the start of the second term. Wardlaw goes left, then right, trying to balk around Blitzarves. And then cuts back into the centre of Docklands. McKercher will mark just backwards of the centre line. And he'll flare it across the outer side of the ground. Stevens takes it after a couple of bounces. Hand passes it to Comben. He'll send North inside forward 50 to the left forward pocket. Larkey.
Now that's a good mark. It was one-on-one. He had the advantage. Boomer, 35 metres out.
Well, he certainly gets a distance.
He's just got to kick the goal as a captain.
No, I agree, Mick.
You're going to get loaded up as a captain because you're a captain. I made you captain over in against the Irish.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I trusted you.
Nick Larkey, the captain of North, in his first year as captain. Can he slot this one?
Well done.
He goes bang. And Nick Larkey has 2 for the afternoon. Geelong's lead will be cut back to 8 points off the back of Larkey's second goal. It's his 41st for the season as well, which equals what he kicked last year, Nick Larkey. North Melbourne 10-4-64, trailing Geelong 11-6-72. 13 minutes played in the third term on ABC Sport.
The kick going inside forward 50 from Charlie Combinor was a good one. It just got out the back, and it only gave Larkey a slight advantage, but it's not a 50-50 ball, Mick. It's probably a 60-40 ball.
Exactly.
To Larkey's advantage, and that's all you want as a forward. You want the ball to just have an advantage to your side, and that went over the top of the Geelong defender where Larkey had a great spot, and like you said, that is the captain's goal right there. Really important. It was a tough angle, but he went through and slotted it. So much needed goal for the Kangas. Game's back on.
Certainly is. North Melbourne hanging in well and truly. Back in the middle we go. Wardlaw fighting hard. Warple's there. He was taken very high indeed by Jai Simpkin. He'll get a free kick just back of the centre circle. Short ball to Bailey Smith, who'll get it and go. Tucks it under the arm and then kicks inside 50 for the Cats. He's Dempsey on the lead. He just got one around the ears as he juggled it down, and it was a good mark indeed from Ollie Dempsey, who, if he elects to kick the goal or have a shot, will kick from right on the paint of 50 on a 45-degree angle.
So, Mick, Ollie Dempsey's playing this side, our side of the wing, and marks the football on the other side. He has got a licence. Most wingmen in the competition will play
the role up and down.
Half ground, just sort of run north to was it north to south?
Yeah, north to south.
And he's just crossed the lane there,
yeah, he's got
which is not ideal in terms of the way you do it, but with him, give him the licence, don't you?
Exactly, because they don't go with him.
19-4 last week against the Bombers. He can't get his first for the afternoon here. He hangs it out to the near side, a minor score only.
So 9 points, Geelong's lead. So they bring in the footy via Parker, who just chips it to McKercher. Goes short as well by foot to find Caleb Daniel, who holds onto the footy.
Caleb Daniel, honestly...
He chips to Parker, that wasn't 15, gets wrapped up by O'Connor. He waited though, Parker, for the umpire to officially call it, spills the footy out, Warple, hand pass to Neal, kicks it inside forward 50 to the left forward pocket for Geelong, and Jack Henry rises up and he's on the end of it.
Well, there's a good call from... is it Core or...
Core and Combin.
Because they were shepherded off the ball. Geelong do it very, very well. Very, very well. The umpire's right there. He should know that.
It's Ollie Henry with the footy for Geelong. Curls this one through. And he's happy about his efforts as well. And Ollie Henry kicks his first for the afternoon. And Geelong's lead is now out to 15 points, 15 minutes played in this third term. 12-7-79 the Cats. The Kangas 10-4-64.
We might see is Razor downstairs there. Razor. Now clearly we could see Patrick Dangerfield what he was doing. What's the intent and what's the rule where he shepherded his opponent out, but eyes for the football? What's the umpire actually looking for there?
Yeah, the eyes aren't the biggest issue. The main thing for that player who's not going to contest the mark is they're not allowed to step off their line. They don't have to evaporate Boomer. They can hold their ground, but they can't step off their line to prevent the opponent from contesting the football. For me, the bigger issue for North Melbourne Football Club from the first quarter is ineffective execution of tackles and inviting pressure when they've got the ball in hand.
Wonderful analysis from the boundary from Razor Ray Chamberlain. Here's Wardlaw through the paint of 50 to the top of the square. Not a great kick. O'Sullivan's there for the Cats. Fighting hard after it. Spargo managed to win the footy. Got boots a ball. Now Larkey's taken the ground. He just flung the head back a little bit, searching for a high free kick. Umpire wise to it. He says, I'll have it please. A ball up. 30 out from goal.
I'd like to come back to Caleb and Daniel a little bit later on. I just think he costs side.
Larkey playing rover, just raised the arms, ended up with Davies Uniacke on the left, around the body. Can he curl it home? He can! Well, we're going to have a look at it, I think. It was directly over the top of the post. The goal umpire looks a little unsure to me.
How can you get... How are you going to know? How are you going to know? There is no vision right now that says this could have hit the post or it couldn't.
Well, it was very, very tight. So we're going upstairs for a look. It's been called a behind, the soft call.
Well, how are you going to know this? Unless you have a...
You've got to go with the umpire's call. There's no other option.
Oh, is that...
There's no Snicko that far up, is there?
Well, you can see the yellow ball, but...
Yeah, which side of the post is it going to hit the post, Mick? It has to be the umpire's call.
Review complete. Looking at these angles, there is insufficient evidence to determine which side of the post the ball crosses the line on. Decision on the scoreboard.
So this has been ruled a behind, so a minor score only for the Roos and LDU. Geelong lead by 14.
While they're kicking, I just want to talk about Caleb Daniel. He's a player that gets a lot of the football, but he's a pot shot kicker. He goes 10 to 15 metres and never really gets players into trouble, and that's exactly what has cost him this time.
Bruin in from full-back. Wardlaw off hands. We're at right half forward for the Roos as Zerha pumps in a long one to the top of the square for North Melbourne. Trembath at the back. Read it best. Outpointed his opponent and took it on his chest.
Well, important kick this one. He had one at the start of the second quarter. Now he's got one during the third quarter and
went from left to right, Boomer.
Yeah,
right footer went from left to right.
Yeah, it's the ball drop, isn't it, Mick?
Oh, it is. So, and he's in the same position where, well, look, your best advice is to aim for the goal umpire's hat. But, you know, if you're a left to righty, you've just got to allow for it.
Missed one he should have converted at the start of the second term. He's on the approach now. No mistake this time. And North Melbourne are hanging around. They cut the margin back to 8. 11-5-71 the Roos, trailing Geelong 12-7-79 as Trembath kicks truly. His first of the afternoon midway through the third term Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Boomer Harvey.
Well, he had a good matchup there and it was Tom Stewart, so you'd like to think that Tom's going to kill that ball 9 times out of 10, but he's a strong lad, Trembath. We know that, or everybody knows, you don't want to give him a run and jump at it, but just there, that was contested, that was strong. One-on-one, chest mark, went back, converted. Well done.
I was just saying before, though, about Caleb Daniel. He kicks the ball short and puts the player, to me, under pressure.
Under a bit of pressure, yep.
I'm not suggesting one moment he shouldn't be inside, but really, you've got to get more distance so you can clear the area.
Geelong ahead by 8 points as Warple takes it from the centre, ball up. Inside 50, he sends it. It'll bobble its way in. Close can pick it up. Hand pass it towards Polkinghorne. Chasing after it. Will hand pass it into an open goal square. Paddy Dangerfield slams it in from point-blank range. He hasn't had much of the footy this afternoon so far, but Patrick Dangerfield gets a goal and goes back and chats to his young forward in Jay Polkinghorne in the aftermath. And Geelong's lead is pushed back out to 14 points directly after that Trembath goal from North Melbourne at the other end.
Oh, Mick, that's a bad press by Griffin Logue. Oh. You're on the goal square, you leave your man in the goal square for an easy kick, whereas Polkinghorne picks up the ball with a tiny bit of pressure on him. He's got to slice the ball around his body with a kick that he's probably not used to. You can't press. Everybody wants you to press. You can't press off the last line.
No, you can't.
If there's no pressure on the goalkeeper.
No, he's had an ordinary day. He is a really ordinary day. Dropped the mark, miskicked.
Centre clearance. Geelong, goal.
Yep.
Back out to 14 and back in the middle as Bailey Smith sends a no-look handball to green grass, pounced upon by Jai Simpkin, who goes wide to Dylan Stevens. Only just the required journey. He's at left half back for North Melbourne. He wanted Davis Uniacke, but he had 2 cats to compete with. Goes to ground. And now Bailey Smith applies a tackle on Banch, who emerges with the footy, hands it to the umpire, just forward of centre wing. On the outer side, O'Sullivan shares it with McKercher. Here's Stevens around the back. Chance here for North Melbourne. Inside 50, but out of position was Dawson. And Jack Henry gets in front to take the intercepting mark for Geelong.
Well, that's because we've got 3 talls down there that really have no mobility. That is an ordinary kick, but you've got to have players that can contest the football.
Stewart now off left half back for the Cats. His kick is broken up. Lamey's at the fall, and now a free kick here for some holding.
Lucky.
It'll be against close, and it'll go North Melbourne's way. Luke Parker at right half back for North.
They're very lucky there, the Kangas, because that handball wasn't there. It was a half a centimetre handball. Put him under pressure.
Yep.
Geelong ahead by 14 in the third term. Parker's kick goes over the top of Trembath's fingertips. Stewart picks it up and passes it away to Jai Clark. Close to the interchange gate, just puts the pass to left half forward for the Cats. Ball spills to ground. Blitzarves can't pick it up cleanly. Luke Davis-Uniacke gets himself out of traffic and hand passes behind him to Logue, who picks it up on the half volley. Hand pass to Blamires, right half back for North Melbourne. Kicks long down the wing. Trembath sets himself. Takes a good mark. Hand passes it to Curtis. They're at centre wing. He's got to send the kick to Banch, who's running into the forward 50. Chips it towards Larkey, and it's a mark on the goal line to the North Melbourne captain.
Yeah, that's good play. Really good, quick play. Used the ball very well. probably the kick there, that last kick, if there was any fault to it, it should have hit the player in the square.
Yeah.
So he's going to kick around the corner. He's a bit close, though. He's going to give the man on the mark a little bit of a...
Nick Larkey for goal number 3. It's low, it's flat, but it's through. And North Melbourne will stay in touch with the Cats in this third term. Geelong's lead is cut back to 8 points. 23 minutes have been played in this third term. 13-7-85 is Geelong. North Melbourne is 12-5-77. Geelong ahead by 8.
It was a really hard press by Geelong. They leave Banch sitting inside 50 all by himself.
Yep.
When you press Mick, you've got to impact clearly.
And you've got to take the ball.
And they didn't do it. They allowed Trent Barth to take, in the end, an uncontested mark because there was no contest at all. And a quick forward handball, which putting speed on ball. And,
notice that Daniel's now going forward. I wonder whether Elsa Clarkson's got... you've got to be careful about that half-back line, giving the ball up. So, but if he can get his hands on the ball in the forward line, he might cause some trouble.
Back in the middle we go. North Melbourne pressing. Free kick here. There's a whistle. It'll go the way of North Melbourne. Ray Chamberlain's on the boundary.
Geelong's Ollie Wiltshire has come to interchange. Foot complaint. Not ruled out, but not taking any further part unless absolutely necessary.
They'll go forward again here. The Roos via Parker. Deep entry. There was some jostling going on as Trembath went to ground. How will the umpire see it? He says ball it in as it goes over.
Well, I think Trentmouth might have gone over. I reckon Larkey's the one who really should have got the free kick there. He was manhandled well before that ball got in there. Yeah, he was.
And took his eyes off the ball, Henry.
Yep, you can't do it.
Chance here for the Roos. Sherry, his bench spinning out of, then into trouble. Managed to get the handball to Trembath, and he puts it through for number 2. And North Melbourne hanging around. They're not done with by any means. Margin back to just 2 points. 13-7-85 Geelong. North Melbourne 13-5-83. Game on under the roof at Docklands. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Just under 5 minutes remaining third term.
So got themselves right back in this, the Kangas Mick.
Oh yes, they have, and it's on the basis of stoppages. No question. I don't care about what numbers are up there. Just by visually looking at where the ball has fallen, it might get cleared. But what is happening is that North have been able to latch onto that loose football, and again, when it goes into their front 50, they are looking really dangerous.
9-6, Mick. Clearance game this quarter.
Okay, so
Kangas way.
Yep. So Geelong player, who's the one that's come off the ground?
Wiltshire.
Well, he didn't do much, so you're not going to miss. Well, that's just being.
No, it's just realistic.
It is. He hasn't been doing much.
Atkins kicks Geelong inside, forward 50. Another chance here, close, couldn't gather it. The ball spills down to Blitzards. He has a shot at goal. It's offline. And that's just a minor score. 3 points now, Geelong's advantage, late stages of the third.
It's really a clearance game. If you dominate, if you can clear the balls. Daniels is now on the back line again. So, here's his kick.
He receives from McKercher, then kicks beyond defensive 50. Kick to a 2-on-1, Mick.
Well, 2-on-1 and Geelong market.
Jai Clark puts Geelong inside 50. Paddy Dangerfield at the back.
And there's the ball coming back and a shot on goal.
So Dangerfield took the slips catch at the back of the pack. Marked at 40 metres out. He's going to poke a little pass inside and give Sean Manor a slightly better look at things.
Yeah, he doesn't miss many Manor. Yeah. They got back in the game on the back of stoppages, but that one there, once it gets cleared, Boomer, there's too much space for the next ball.
Yeah, there is, Mick. And they seem, and when I say they, Geelong, they seem to do it a little bit easier than North Melbourne. Everything that North Melbourne's doing,
it's hard work.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Geelong spread,
even
the ball inside to outside.
Yeah.
Kicked both of his goals in the second term. He can add a third to his tally here from 45 metres out. No real angle to speak of. Misses to the right-hand side, a minor score only. Geelong lead by 4 deep into this third term.
I wouldn't offer Elsa Clarkson any coaching advice. He's certainly got great experience, but Daniels has got you can't have him having the football under these sort of circumstances, because what ends up happening is the ball ends up coming back to you.
So North Melbourne work it to centre wing, but Sherry couldn't quite pull it out in the end. He does the tackling here against Blitzards, who drops the footy. Ball spills out. Picked up by Hardiman. Hand passes it across to Finn O'Sullivan. Hand pass to Caleb Daniel. Hand pass back to Hardiman. Right half back This is a long ball all the way to right half forward. Darling comes in from the left, can't take the mark, wanted a free kick. Ball spills out, Curtis picks it up, drops it into the right forward pocket for Cooper Trembath.
Oh, he's had players clear. He needs to kick this goal now.
Yeah, absolutely he does. Spargo's not one bit happy. Have a look at him.
Well, he had two distinct opportunities immediately, then he had one later. I'm not saying he can't kick it, but what he has to do, he has to kick it now because you've burnt two of your teammates.
Doesn't look entirely confident. He did look to pass it off, but a little too late after the options were exhausted.
Yeah.
So now we'll
It's an old trick.
Yeah. Right forward pocket. Cooper Trembath thread the needle here. Don't bother about passing it off. Cooper's got two.
Three in one quarter, I think.
You're right. He's got three. I haven't marked one down. Cooper Trembath has got three. And he puts this one through that keeps North Melbourne within single digits. Well, it puts them ahead. He's put them ahead, rather. So North Melbourne back in front by 2 points. 13-9-87 is Geelong. North Melbourne 14-5-89. That is 28 minutes played in the third term. North Melbourne back in front after the fourth lead change for the afternoon.
It's interesting to see Caleb Daniel was the receiver of that kick out before. He's actually playing forward still, Mick. So he got really deep, didn't he?
Well,
to kick that ball back.
But you see, by starting forward and going back is freeing up a Geelong player, Boomer. And you've got to have an impact, a massive... If you're going to do that, you impact it massively. Otherwise, don't do it.
5-3 third term here sees North Melbourne back in front by 2 points.
Yeah, he comes up with a stoppage, releases a Geelong player.
Back in the middle.
Who takes the ball and is now going to kick the ball in the forward line.
Broome bursts off the half-back line, takes a bounce and sends Geelong inside 50. Oak back with courage, couldn't complete the mark. Now Zurhaar wraps up his opponent, holding the ball. And the ball reigns supreme. Polkinghorne emerges very gingerly. He knows he's been hit by Zurhaar on that occasion, and he gratefully takes his free kick. Spies a target out wide, but it's a shocking kick. He picks out Dempsey.
Yeah, they're the little things that you've got to clean up if you want to beat the best.
Inside 50 now go the Cats. Getting back was Comben with the fist. Bouncing ball towards the teeth of goal. Curtis has got to be clever and composed. Gets onto his left boot. He hits the target. Load marks on his chest.
They don't need to rush this. This is what you're talking about, Boomer, later on. It doesn't matter if you're a point in front, a point behind. With a quarter to go, you don't need now to be... like a bull at a gate.
It's coming in again via the boot of Oisin Mullen, and he doesn't fail to hit a target. This time it's Shannon Neal on the end of it, just inside the boundary, 40 metres out from goal.
Well, that does not need to have taken place.
State of game, Mick. State of game.
Oh, you've got to read what's the scoreboard saying, what's the clock saying. There it is. It sits right in front of you. You don't have to be a rose. Again, you don't have to be a great footballer to understand a clock.
To wrestle back the lead for the Cats, and he takes some kicking from the tight angle, sends it on its way, sliding across the face, a minor score only. North Melbourne hold on to a 1 point lead, 13-10-88. Geelong, North Melbourne 14-5-89.
Very late stages of this third term. Luke Parker will have the kick in for North. Just chips it out to Aidan Core. And he'll hold on to it in the back pocket, chewing up some time before loading it up on his boot to kick it across to half-back as the siren sounds for three-quarter time. And it's a cracker we've got on our hands. North Melbourne ahead by 1 point at the final change. It was Geelong ahead by 7 points at half-time. And at the end of the first change, North Melbourne was ahead by 38 points. They've managed to wrangle back the lead, but just in that third term. And it's 1 point, the Kangas' advantage. 14-5-89, playing Geelong 13-10-88. The goal kickers of the match so far for North Melbourne. Jack Darling has 3. Cooper Trembath has 3. Nick Larkey's got 3 as well. A couple to Jai Simpkin, and then singles to Zach Banch, Paul Curtis and Harry Sheasel, who will take no further part in the game with a cheekbone injury. He clashed with Oisin Mullen in the second term, so he's out for the game, Harry Sheasel. And then the goal kickers for Geelong, 2 to Jay Polkinghorne, 2 to Sean Manor, 2 to Mitch Edwards. Singles to Lawson Humphries, Shannon Neal, Paddy Dangerfield, Ollie Henry, Brad Close and Mark Blitzars. But at three-quarter time, North Melbourne ahead by just 1 point. We'll have the fourth quarter coming your way in just a moment. This is Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Every community has stories worth sharing. ABC Your Say is your chance to join the conversation. Tell us what's on your mind. Visit abc.net.au/yoursay.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Tom Atkins will get it back. Centre of Docklands. It's out wide to Guthrie. Set it up to Humphreys, who marks it right half forward. 60 metres out from home. Just dabs this one inside 50. Blitzard's on the lead. Punts the mark. Blitzard puts this one towards the sticks and has the finish. Warple takes it from the centre, ball up inside 50. He sends it. It'll bobble its way in. Close can pick it up. Hand pass it towards Polkinghorne. Chasing after it. Will hand pass it into an open goal square. Paddy Dangerfield slams it in from point blank range. Trembar sets himself. Takes a good mark. Hand passes it to Curtis. There at centre wing. He's got to send the kick to Bantry. He's running into the forward 50. Chips it towards Larkey. And it's a mark on the goal line to the North Melbourne captain. Nick Larkey for goal number 3. It's low, it's flat, but it's through.
Chance here for the Roos. Sherry, his bench spinning out of, then into trouble. Then managed to get the handball to Trembath. And he puts it through for number 2. And North Melbourne hanging around. They're not done with by any means.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
A seesawing match that we've had so far. 4 lead changes in the game after North Melbourne was leading by 38 points at the end of the first quarter. In a 46-point turnaround, Geelong led by 7 points at half-time. And now the Kangas are up by just 1 point at three-quarter time. Lauren Borden, Chris Rowbottom calling the action here at Docklands. Ray Chamberlain's down on the boundary. Mick Moldhouse and Boomer Harvey are our experts on ABC Sport. We've got a rip-up of a final term coming up, but I'm very excited for what's happening down the road at the MCG as well this afternoon. It's in the same round. It was Collingwood and Hawthorn that played when North Melbourne and Geelong last played. That ended in a draw. So we'll find out what's to come at the MCG. Matt Clinch is leading the call team there. Clinchy, you're in position. What can we expect?
Well, the members' gates have just opened, Lauren, so all the fans have come streaming in, and every indication that we're going to have over 80,000 plus in for a match which has ramifications for both sides. For Collingwood, they've secured their place inside the top 8, but desperate to try and climb higher up the ladder. And for Hawthorn, they're fighting for a top 4 spot. So after beaten last week by the Brisbane Lions, questions around Hawthorn and their legitimacy as a top 4 side that'll get put to the test tonight. A debutant in Max Beattie comes in, the 22-year-old who was a mid-season pickup from Woodville West Torrens. He's one of 2 changes alongside Bailey McDonald, while for Collingwood, Jordan DeGoey and Scott Pendlebury come back in. And the announcement during the week, the one of mixed favourites, Steele Sidebottom, will finish up at the end of this season. So it's Collingwood taking on Hawthorn. Can't wait for the coverage. Adam Romanascus and Daniel Harford, Tim Hodges on the boundary, Clint Weldon and myself to bring you the call after you guys, Loz.
Thanks, Clinchy. Excited to listen to that on the drive home from Docklands this afternoon, where we've got a game on our hands. North Melbourne lead by 1 point. They haven't defeated Geelong since 2014 when Boomer Harvey was still playing. I feel like we speak about this every time Geelong plays North Melbourne because the record stood for so long. But they're in with a real chance here, ahead by 1.
Yeah, they certainly are. They got themselves back in the game. And after the first quarter, I should say, Geelong then went and controlled the game. They had 7-30 uncontested marks in that second quarter. Right then, it was 19-20. So they only lost the uncontested marks, Mick, by 1, which is, it's in the balance. It's nothing, right? They got the game back on their terms, played the game a little bit like they did in the first quarter and didn't let Geelong just hit up and play it on their terms. So fantastic by North Melbourne. I was wondering what they were going to dish up in that third quarter after a pretty dismal second quarter, to be fair. And they got their energy. They got their run back up. Handball receives 35-22 North Melbourne's way. So they were turning up. They were helping their teammates. And hence why they win the inside 50s for the quarter and they give themselves a chance.
Yeah, spot on, Boomer. Everything you said there. Both sides look like they've only got 4 on the bench, which is ample. I mean, the old days.
The old days of last year.
The old days of last year was...
well, the sub was there.
Or the sub, so we know even from there, you get by with that. In fact, sometimes it's even better because you're not compelled then to... I always believe, though, that your interchanges should be directed around the state of the player, not necessarily by, it's his turn.
Yep.
Because, and particularly for players on top, why spoil his day? Why
let them run with the momentum while they've got it.
Well, exactly. I'm just looking at Caleb Daniels. Again, this is not a picking session, but he's going to go to centre-half forward, which technically means he's going to go on the ball, or maybe... I only hope he doesn't go up to the stoppage. Larky's now going to come up because he thinks it is going to happen. So I think North are getting ready for a 5-man forward line. Geelong on the other side, they'll probably bring them up at random and then read the play.
Here we go. North Melbourne ahead by 1 point. The final quarter is underway. Edwards tries to get a tap out. Sherry can't get a boot to it. Manor will pick it up for Geelong. Hand pass to Bailey Smith and he'll propel Geelong forward. Atkins slips through his fingertips. Parker's at the back, picks it up for North Melbourne, has to hand pass it away hurriedly. And Myers can collect. Hand pass to Dempsey. He'll send the Cats inside forward. 50 into the left forward pocket. Polkinghorn running onto it. Hand pass to Blitzarves. Puts this one into the third tier. And Blitzarves has his third goal. And it's 30 seconds that have ticked over in this fourth term. We've had plenty of goals in the early stages of each term, and Blitzarves has one here, and that puts Geelong ahead by 5 points. The fifth lead change of this match, 14-10-94, Geelong, North Melbourne, 14-5-89.
I'd like to see, Lauren, if you could just bring up the last quarter stats, who handled that football, because they are, without a doubt, the players that have had the biggest bearing. It's Smith, Manor, Blitzarves kicked 3. Young Polkinghorn is causing all sorts of damage down here because they falls out because they struggle. They look at Neil as the key forward. Polkinghorn falls out, and I reckon one of the wingers may have held that too. Young Edwards has actually got his hand to it in the first bit, in the ruck.
So Geelong regain the lead. What are these young roos made of? Sherry with a high ball out of the middle towards centre-half forward for North Melbourne. Off hands, O'Sullivan gathered cleanly, weaved his way through a couple, handball to nobody in particular. Dempsey handed knees, then Guthrie's little kick was smothered. Stevens waiting on the outside, poke pass inside is good to Simpkin. 45 metres out from goal on a slightly greater than 45-degree angle. By the time he kicks it, he'll probably be just inside 50.
Well, he's good enough for this.
Yeah, he's got the distance.
You know what really worried me just then? I'm going to pick on him. Daniel's cutting in front of the leading player because there was a lead on. Daniel's cut in front of him.
I wonder why Daniel's gone forward. It looks like maybe Colby McKercher has gone off the half-back maybe. Simpkin
crosses the paint of 50, sends it across the face of goal, knocked over for a minor score. So 2 goals in the first term for Jai Simpkin, and able to add to the tally. Minor score only as Geelong get things back underway very quickly indeed.
Harry Sheasel out of the game for North Melbourne. Ollie Wiltshire out of the game for Geelong as Curtis goes running after the footy at centre wing. Edwards takes it. Curtis pulls him down to the ground. It spills out and Manor will pick it up. Hand passes it backwards to Mullen, who kicks long down the wing. No mark can be taken. And Zerha sees it over the boundary line for a throw-up. Just to the right of the Geelong bench. Geelong ahead by 4 points after trailing by 39 points early in the second term.
Yeah, North Melbourne flipped Colby McKercher to a half-back flank and Caleb Daniel to a half-forward.
Well, I like McKercher back there, there's no question.
Sharon Blitzarves in the ruck, comes down to Mullen, hand passes it to Smith at right half-forward for Geelong. Fresh airy, pressure coming from Simpkin.
That's a freaking umpire. Ray, that was below the back if you're there. It's right in front of you, isn't it?
Yeah, I felt like that was a reasonable push to the side. I didn't feel like it's a push in the back. It's more in the side of the bum.
Yeah, well, they win the free kick here in the end. Inside 50, the ball will be sent for Geelong, but it's North Melbourne that win it out via O'Sullivan. Hand pass to Daniel. Hand pass to Curtis, and Daniel will come back and receive the hand pass again. Kicks down to left half forward in a hurry. And Jack Henry is down there to clean up for Geelong.
Broon, a true centre-half back. He's got a man in the middle of the ground in Mullen. He's got time and space to take a bounce. Stops, props, had to think about the little kick in board. It was off the side of the boot. It travelled about 15.1 metres, and Shannon Neal takes the mark directly in front.
So to paint that picture, Mullen running down the wing, did not know Davies Uniacke was behind him, cuts to his right side, gets tackled, comes off the side of his boot,
Directly sideways. Complete opposite direction to where he wanted to kick it. And it hits Neil. Right in the ear. He wasn't even watching either.
He'll kick from just inside 50 metres. Shannon Neal. Journey shouldn't be a worry for the big man as he sends it on its way. The cheer squad goes up behind the goals and it tells the story. Neil goes bang. And the Cats are back out by 10. 15-10, 100 to North Melbourne's 14-6, 90. 4.5 minutes gone. Fourth and final term, Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, Mick, I won't let you bash him up anymore today. Caleb Daniel. Now, he is forward, and I don't know we don't know his role, but he's kicking that ball outside of defensive 50 again. His role might be coming up and playing an extra on-baller. I'm not too sure. But when you get a 1-2, you want to know what's around you, and you can't just kick it straight back to the opposition.
And Geelong are +2.
So they go back. Geelong marked the ball, switched the ball, and I know it was a lucky kick by Mullen, but it's a goal on the back of a Caleb Daniel decision to receive that ball as a 1-2. So just got to be a little bit smarter, the Kangas.
More calculated.
Yep.
10 points the margin, Geelong's way. Ball tossed back up in the middle. Mullen can't quite gain control of it. Dempsey can. Hand pass to Atkins. Hand passes it back to Mullen. Flicks it to Myers. By hands he goes to Atkins. Centre wing outer side of the ground. Atkins pops it to Manor. Left half forward for Geelong. Swings around. Puts it on his right boot. And just hacks a kick inside forward 50. Chopped off by Hardiman. Hand pass to Logue. Hand pass to Zerha, who has Stevens running close beside him. Uses him and goes by hands to Stevens. Kicks right down the wing. 1 bounce, 2 bounce. It was going towards the boundary line, but Bange keeps it in play for North. Inside forward 50 will send it. Curtis at the back of the pack couldn't take the mark.
Oh, he's got...
The umpire's called a pushing free kick against North Melbourne.
Wow.
And Tom Stewart will win it for Geelong. Cats ahead by 10.
Now to Mullen at left half back. Short ball to Atkins. Just back of a wing, out of side. So the boos ring out across Docklands.
Well, I don't understand why.
Here's Brian Myers. I haven't called his name much this afternoon. He takes a bounce, cuts inside, gives to Bailey Smith, who takes it on the hop and then goes with the left foot inside 50. North Melbourne with the numbers. There's a free kick here, and this will go Geelong's way as well. They might riot here, the Roos.
Yeah, against Comben, I think, on Dangerfield or Griffin Logue, one of the two. Geelong did that quite well. They got a mismatch. It was Brian Myers on big Trishan Sherry, and they just honoured the lead. Again, uncontested mark, and then he was able to play on, against Griffin Logue on the replay up here, Mick.
Yeah, he grabbed it hold of him.
1 goal, 1 on the afternoon for Patrick Dangerfield to extend this out to 16 points. Shouldn't miss from here. Dangerfield leans back and kicks it into the second tier. So 16 points up go the Cats. 16-10, 106. North Melbourne 14-6, 90. Patrick Dangerfield slams through his second of the afternoon. 7.5 gone. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Mick Mulhouse.
So Mick, he hasn't had a great day, Patrick Dangerfield, right? But he's kicked 2 goals.
2 goals.
So if he hits the scoreboard,
and worries a back one player.
So Griffin Logue's grabbed him twice. That's how he's kicked 2 goals. Yeah. So he's somebody that there's going, well, we can't just let him run and jump at the ball. He's powerful. He's kicked 2. Is that enough, or do you think he needs another one? So it might be 6 possessions, 3 goals.
No, he's done enough. He's done enough. Come back off that injury. He's a dangerous player. He can kick the ball from outside 50. You know that. So if you get the ball to him, it doesn't matter where he's going to get it. He's good. He's good for the distance. North will be really spewing on that one because they had the opportunity in their forward line.
Davies, Mick Davies-Uniacke sends it inside 50 for North Melbourne. It'll spill out back. And Wardlaw barges his way through there, all the way back inside 50. Hand passes it forward towards Stevens. Pushed in the back, free kick North Melbourne, or taken a little high.
Well, this is what North Melbourne have been able to do, is get the ball inside their 50. What they haven't been able to do, what Geelong have done, is kick goals.
Yep.
So this is an opportunity from, directly in front. Well earned. It's a free kick, but play Russian roulette with Geelong, you're going to get beaten by 4 or 5 goals.
He attacks the ball quite well, young Bange.
Oh, he does?
He goes hard at it. And the last couple of steps where people would normally slow down to gather the ball, he accelerates through it. And not the tallest little fella. I think I might even have him covered, Mick.
No, you've got no one covered.
Zach Bange kicked a goal in the first quarter for goal number 2 when his side needs it. It's offline to the left-hand side. He gave it all he had.
By a long way.
A minor score. 15 points, Geelong's lead, 8 minutes played in the final term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. Collingwood and Hawthorn to follow us at the MCG.
They need the next one, the Kangas. Crucial goal.
Humphreys out of full-back, kicks just back of a wing to the outer side. Through hands go the Cats. Here's Ollie Henry, gets it on the boot, kicks beyond the wing now for Geelong. Blitz halves, brings it to the ground. Close couldn't gather it, fell to Spargo of North Melbourne. Fired it off to Caleb Daniel, who was legged by Warple. Umpire said no. or play on advantage. Take your pick. Here's Zerha releasing McKercher. Middle of the ground. Chance here for North Melbourne. Kicks to a 2-on-2. Floating it from the side. Darling had a really big piece of it. And he might be paid the mark. Here he will be.
I was going to make a statement. I reckon for North to win, Curtis has to feature. Now, Jack Darling will go back and have his shot for his fourth, which has been fantastic, and that was a good mark. They almost spoiled each other. But through the middle again, it quickly into the forward line, worries any side. But Curtis, for me, will be the difference between winning and losing it.
2 goals in the first term, 1 in the second for Jack Darling. If he converts here, it'll be goal number 4 on the afternoon. Absolute must kick from 30 metres out. Jack Darling, no mistake made. And North Melbourne won't go away. 16-10, 106, go the other Cats. North Melbourne 15-7, 97. Geelong lead by 9 points. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Razor Ray Chamberlain's on the boundary.
Well, as Jack Darling slams home his fourth, James Warple has walked 35 metres alongside the trainer, right hamstring, straight down the race.
Yeah, well, he hasn't had a great year, but he's another midfielder that they have to replace if he's out. So this might, would that be manner back in centre? This is an opportunity. I know it's dangerous because of the fact that the game's so close, but Paddy Dangerfield could have an influence in there with his big body.
Geelong ahead by 9 points. There's still a long way to go in this final term. Just 10 minutes have been played. It's from the middle. It's moved forward to North Melbourne's advantage. Then Simpkin soccers a kick forward towards Spargo. Nice little tap towards Simpkin, who's kept running. Hand pass across to Bench. Hand pass to Daniel. Hand pass to Larkey, trying to get himself into a good position to snap at goal and put it home for North. The Kangas are back in town. And Geelong's lead is now just 3 points. 16-7, 103, the Kangas. The Cats, 16-10, 106. 11 minutes played in this final term. Geelong's lead is only 3 points. And Nick Larkey puts through another goal for his afternoon. And we've got a game on our hands for the end of this match. Still plenty to play out.
I would love to know, Mick, how many goals have been scored directly from centre bounce.
Yeah, well,
and that's another one right there.
Absolutely.
Smart play by Spargo. Kangas kept the ball alive, got the ball into the hands of the big fella with a great finish, but again, came from the centre bounce. Geelong kicked a heap of them in the second quarter. How many's been kicked this game?
Boomer, what you just said is so relevant to what I was just about to say. The big X is off. The next 5 minutes could be a real telling factor to see who controls the ruck.
Well, there's the centre bounce for the Cats.
Blitzarves kicks Geelong high towards left half forward. Off hands. McKercher will get there first. Needs a kind bounce. Porter under his spell. He's going to take on a tackler in O'Connor. Just released the handball. Got it to Blamires, but he ran out of tarmac. Over he goes. A ball in where the 50-metre line meets the boundary. Out of side. Left half forward for Geelong. Just 3 points in it. What are these young North Melbourne Kangaroos made of? In it comes. Flung over the umpire's head. Neil, uncontested in the ruck, just takes it out, has time to turn and then hit up a target. Henry had 2 to beat, brought it to ground. His core at the fall of the ball. Logue fighting hard, had to get rid of a tackler. Here's Simpkin, now Blamires kept it in somehow. Got his kick away, clears the defensive area at the back. Guthrie couldn't complete the mark. Crashing through was, I think, O'Sullivan for the Roos. No, it was Banch. And this is going to be a stoppage, all held up, just back of the wing, out of side.
13 minutes played in the final term. Cats have a 3-point lead. Atkins takes it, hand passes it to Manor. His kick partially smothered. Then Smith can work it forward still for the Cats. Hand pass to Neil, hand pass to Myers. Smith is running inside forward 50. Gets the hand pass, tried to find Close, got batted away from him. And close to the boundary line, O'Connor has it. He's being tackled by Hardiman, who wraps him up and will have a ball up just inside 50 for the Cats.
And they look really safe behind the ball, the Cats, because they got Henry just lurking by himself.
Again.
So in the end, it's Dawson who just leaps over the top of Neil and bashes it away. It comes down for Wardlaw, who can pick it up. Hand pass to Bench. He's going to run into a wall of Geelong players, but Wardlaw's there to pick it up. He kept going, George. Hand pass it away. Players are all around the footy. They're close to the boundary. It goes over. And Was that a last touch rule, or it will be a throw-in on the outer side?
It's Wardlaw.
Yeah, he just comes out of nowhere.
He's like a Sherman tank.
Yeah, he's like and like a pop-up sprinkler. He just appears.
You feel that young George might have something to say in the dying embers of this game. Here's Myers taken at ground level. Umpire arrives on the scene.
He's one of those players, it doesn't matter what team you go for, you just love watching George Wardlaw go about it.
Well, he's the old-fashioned...
Yes.
Just has a crack.
He's Bailey Smith, pouncing on a loose ball, wrapped up by Banch, got his handball out somehow. No, he didn't, said the umpire, holding the ball. Zach Banch, he's tackled sticks. Bailey Smith stopped in his tracks. It'll be a Kangaroos ball. Centre wing, outer side, short ball inboard. He's good to Parker. He's on the logo. And he goes 15 metres further afield to Caleb Daniel.
Well, this ball is an interesting ball because something's got to happen with it.
Had McKercher laterally. He's going to go wide and inside 50 instead. Kicks to the contest. Over the back, Henry took the loose footy. Shared it with Broon. Humphreys. He just shook the tackle at the last moment. Then kicked out toward the near side. He spotted Dangerfield in a one-on-one. 2-on-2 as the cavalry arrive. North Melbourne will lead to the footy. But it's knocked over as Hardiman sees it over for a ball in right in front of the interchange benches. They're battling really hard here, the Roos. They can sniff something special. They just need something to crack it open.
Haven't defeated Geelong since 2015, the Roos. Cats ahead by 3 points in this final term. Blitzarves paddles it away with two hands. It'll work for Dempsey, who runs onto it at half forward. Chips the ball inside forward 50. Low taps it to Comben. He's being tackled by Polkinghorne, so has to hurry a kick into some space. That might have been out of bounds on the full. Did it bounce once before it went out?
That's a good decision by the umpires.
He was getting tackled when he kicked it.
Exactly. What he really reckons he wants to put it out there, it's a deadly ball. That's Geelong's favour. So that's just because he was tackled at the psychological moment.
So one bounce and then over, so it will be a throw-in inside forward 50 for the Cats.
The first time I've just going to say, no, Geelong have still got the extra. Again, that's dangerous from this end of the ground. The Cats are so good at setting the play up outside their front 50.
3 points the advantage to Geelong. Edwards pulls it out of the ruck himself and will have a go at goals himself. It'll drop short into the left forward pocket. Comben's there, so is Polkinghorne. They play. And this will be a throw-in this time next to the left behind post for the Cats. 16-10, plays 16-7. Geelong ahead by 3.
I think we're going to get Cherry back on.
I'd probably even that number up, Mick, just to make it.
You've got to even it up.
That's where they score from. They set the ground up so well and score.
And it comes deep in attack for the Cats. McKercher's at the fall. He hassled Myers. He eventually laid the tackle and he holds him up. We're still locked inside defensive 50 for the Roos as the Cats try and make something happen of their own. Knocked towards the boundary and over and out again.
I don't see any movement on the bench. With under 10 minutes to play, you get your best ruckman on now. He has to back. He'll probably play for 15 minutes, 10 genuine minutes, and 5, obviously, time on.
3 points the margin. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. Chris Rowbottom, Lauren Borden, Boomer Harvey and Mick Malthouse with you on a Saturday afternoon. From the ball in, gathering the footy was Myers, immediately taken to ground. Cries of ball. Umpire says no. And it's still locked inside, attacking 50 for the Cats. Just 25 metres out from their goal.
It's been there for the last couple of minutes as it's tossed back up. Chasing after it and picking it up is Simpkin. He can exit defensive 50 for North Melbourne with a long kick. Darling's in a one-on-one against Jack Henry. Henry gets a little punch away. And it'll go out of bounds, centre wing out of side.
Well, that's a good clearance by Simpkin, but very well done by Jack Darling. Yeah, no open marking that. Henry was all over him. But Darling to get his fist to put the ball in the wing for another stoppage. Very, very smart play.
Neutral ball, centre wing. The ball will be tossed in. It's Edwards and Dawson, the two younger rucks going at it. Edwards takes it out himself for Geelong and just kicks it down the line of the wing. And that bobbles its way over. It'll be a Lasso free kick. North Melbourne's ball out of side of the ground.
Well, young Carley on the bench has been holding up the numbers for a long time. Finn O'Sullivan and Trishan Sherry just can't get on the ground. Mick, the ball's been on the other side of the ground for about 6 minutes.
Yeah, just trying to still find my man. I reckon that's Curtis. Just trying to find where he is.
He's on the bench at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's not going to win the game from there, is he?
Down the line by Dawson, who can send North Melbourne inside 50. Shallow entry over the hands of Clark. They go after it at ground level. Trimbath was there. forced a sloppy old handball, and eventually it's Blamires laying the tackle on Mullen. We're at right half forward for North Melbourne as the Roos press. 3-point ball game here under the roof at Docklands. Out of the ruck contest from ground level, Atkins. Wonderful hands out to Manor, who was released on the outer side. Now he kicks to the advantage of Polkinghorne. Was just dragged down at the last moment by Comben as it goes over and out for a ball in. Umpire said nothing untoward there. We'll ball it in at left half forward for the Cats. So Geelong without James Warple, he's out of the game with a hamstring, and North Melbourne without their young superstar Harry Stiesel is out with an injured cheekbone midway through this final term.
So we haven't had a score since the 12-minute mark of this final term. It's now 20 minutes played. Ball is tossed in and we'll be all wrapped up. O'Connor with the footy. We'll hand the ball back to the umpire. Half forward for the Cats. Outer side of the ground. Tapped away by Edwards. It goes straight into the hands of Parker. Hand passes it away. Simpkin couldn't gather it. Myers takes it for Geelong. His hand pass a turnover. Ricochets back to Myers, who hand passes it inside 50. Manor has to go back and grab it. Does well to shove it on his right boot towards Polkinghorne. Low for him. Couldn't take it. Manor's kept going himself, this time on the left boot. He kicks it across to Dempsey, who marks right in front of goal. Will kick on a tight angle. But Manor kept pushing, and he was able craftily to find Ollie Dempsey, who'll have a shot.
Just finds himself in amazing positions.
Well, right there.
It's where the ball's going to go.
Here's Ollie Dempsey, one of the young stars at Geelong. On his left boot, curls this one through. That is breathing space for Geelong in time on of the final quarter of this match. Geelong is ahead by 9 points off the back of Dempsey's goal, 35,529. The crowd posted here this afternoon. North Melbourne won the AFLW match that occurred a little earlier on today, but Geelong now ahead by 9 points in the AFL match, 17-10, 112, 16-7, 103, North Melbourne.
He was on the last line then, and it was the attacking line. He knows where the ball's going to go, Mick, and he gets a one-on-one. And he's on Dylan Stevens, and no disrespect to Dylan Stevens, because it could have been a number of North Melbourne players, but he's just superior in the air, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And he's deceivingly tall. I think he's about 187, 188.
And jumps well, times it well.
Yeah. And think where they picked him. I mean, he wasn't a first choice pick.
Time not yet a factor here for North Melbourne, but they love the instant response. Back in the middle we go. It was shoot out of there by Blamires. It pinballs around at ground level, eventually taken by Mullen, who carves himself a path and sends Geelong inside 50. A one-on-one. Zerha got back and took the mark on his chest. Needed to for North Melbourne and completed the task.
It's a good win. Do you think North Melbourne potentially push him forward, Zerha? Got to hit the scoreboard.
Kick wasn't much chop to McKercher. He forced him to take it on the bootlaces. He was good enough to get it back to Zerha, but they're having to work this through hands now. They're under the pump. Here's Dangerfield, and they've got a man inside 50 all alone in Polkinghorne, who thought about going. The kick was barely the required 15, but Polkinghorne is marked. And it was that sloppy Zerha kick to McKercher that put the North Melbourne defence under the pump and will allow Polkinghorne in for a set shot at his third.
Yeah, overuse and poor use.
And Parker was telling Dylan Stevens, can you just clear that ball?
Yeah.
Get it out of the danger zone, get it up to the wing. Larky's sitting on the wing. Give him an opportunity, a one-on-one maybe, get the ball out of bounds and we can start again.
Well, that was, the end result was that hand pass, though.
Yep.
Shocking hand pass. Those look-away hand passes, who knows where they're going?
For an equal career best, 3 goals for Jay Polkinghorne. He makes no mistake as he squeezes it inside the right-hand goalpost. And he stretches this margin back out to 15. 18-10, 118 Geelong, 16-7, 103 North Melbourne. 23 and a half minutes gone. Fourth and final term, Saturday footy on ABC Sport.
Well, now, Mick, that handball in the scheme of things right now wouldn't be too bad because you've got to keep the ball alive. But in that situation right there, you had the opportunity with your shoulders out facing goal, kick the ball long, clear the danger area.
Exactly.
Yes, Parker gets it, and it's a nothing handball again, and it's a turnover. Smart play by Dangerfield. Could have blazed, had a shot from 50, but
finds the target.
Just finds the target. Takes 30 seconds off the clock at this stage of the game. He's very crucial, and a great finish by young Jay Polkinghorne. That is third, did you say? Third goal. Fantastic effort.
10 goal kickers have had the Cats.
So it's back in the middle, and here is Edwards, the young ruck that takes it. He's tackled by Davies Uniacke. The umpire will come in and ball it up again. 5-2 in this final term, Geelong's way, as Sherry tries to tap it to his advantage. Then Edwards has a go at it. It'll find its way towards Ollie Henry, tackled by McKercher, gets a hand pass out. Sherry takes it. He's taken to the turf by Mullen, and will be a free kick for Sherry. No, I thought he might have been fallen on top of. It's a ball up just forward of the centre circles to the Cats' advantage. Sherry with a little tap out. Goes straight to his opposing ruck in Edwards, who fires off a hand pass, cleaned up by Parker. Hand pass to Logue, and North have it here. Hand pass to Finn O'Sullivan. He flicks it backwards towards Stevens, who hand passes it back to Finn O'Sullivan. Shares it with Stevens by hand again. Runs around the 360 under all sorts of pressure. Will take a bounce, and this time dump it on his boot to left half forward. He'll send North Melbourne. Larkey came in and could get a hand on it, enough to bring it to ground. Stewart at the back. Tried to pick it up, take it. Curtis tackled him, brought him to the turf, and has called... in the back. I thought it might have been holding the footy one, but
it was
in the back.
It was a pretty solid tackle. I think it's more frustration by Curtis at the moment.
Free kick to Tom Stewart at right half back. He kicks toward the near wing. It's spiked out of play. We'll have a ball in right where the interchange benches are, and as Bailey Smith makes his way back onto the grounds.
Yeah, going forward at the moment, Smith. Whether he won't stay there long, I wouldn't imagine, but he's gone forward. Dangerfield been pushed back into the full forward line.
Just over 5 minutes remaining. It's Geelong by 15 points from the restart. This might be out on the full off the shin of Finn O'Sullivan. Umpire was in good position. He said no, it's a ball in. So North Melbourne just sniffing a potential scalp, but they've got a bit to do. Geelong holding firm, as good clubs do. Sherry over the back, into the path of Davies Uniacke, breaks a tackle, then releases Stevens. It was beautifully worked. Now Parker over to Daniel. He's got a man running inside 50. The little poke pass from Bench is a beauty. Onto the chest of Larkey. It was just the required 15. Larkey's going to line up for goal number 5 from 35 metres out slide angle.
Yeah, two big forwards kicking 5. If he kicks this, or no, when I say that, who else... No, Darling kicked 4, but turns out to be a reasonable day if he kicks this.
Huge kick for the North Melbourne Kangaroos. He can cut the margin back to 9. He liked it as soon as it left his shoe. He pumps the bicep and he says, come on, boys. We're still alive here. He puts through his 5th. And Geelong's lead cut down to 9 points. 18-10, 118 the Cats. North Melbourne 17-7, 109. Saturday footy on ABC Sport. 4.5 minutes remaining, 4th and final turn.
Well, that keeps the game still alive. He had to kick that one as the captain went back and started. It was a good build-up, though, from North Melbourne. Uniacke taking the game on. One of those handballs over the shoulder, Mick, but you've got to do it at this stage of the game. And the boys got the ball from the inside to the outside with no pressure. It was a great little chip kick by Banch to the skipper. 35 out, slotted it. Game still on.
It sure is. Just 9 points Geelong's lead. 27 minutes ticked over in this final term. With Logue making his way back onto the field and into the back line.
The warning.
And there's the 666 warning that always gets given to the ruckman in the centre of the ground.
They do that with netball too, don't they?
It's tossed up. Huss tries to pull it down. It's taken by O'Connor. Hand pass to Smith. Hand passes over the top of his head to Bruin, who runs into a brick wall, and Banch, who takes him to the turf.
That's a bad possession. I know we'll look at his possessions at the end of the game and give him credit for, having high 20s or early 30s, but that's a poor possession by Smith.
Free kick, absolutely.
Free kick to North Melbourne. Play on. Stevens will put the kick to the right forward pocket. At the back is Jack Darling. And Darling wins this one-on-one with Jack Henry.
That's a big win. Jack Henry, an elite backline player. Jack Darling, second club in his 30s. He should kick this. He's a very, very good kick for goal. Left or right. He'll go probably left foot here, I'd say.
Jack Darling to take a couple of steps. Right foot banana it from the pocket.
Silly.
He's missed it.
I can't believe he went that.
Oh, that's a strange. He lined up like he was kicking it left foot. When you kick a banana, you've actually got to give yourself
a bit of space
so the ball can turn. That's the main thing. You want to kick the ball 30 metres so it can actually swing.
Yeah, he gave nothing to anywhere.
8 points the margin now, Geelong's advantage.
That's bizarre, Nick.
Oh, it's really it just makes you wonder what went through his head, because he didn't think that he was. Daniels has run the wrong side of his man.
Uncontested marks now. That's 4 in a row by the Cats.
Bruin has it inside D50 for the Cats, following the Jack Darling miss. Pumps it long to the near wing. In best position was Sherry, but just had it broken up at the last moment by Blitzarms. Big tackle laid by Dempsey, and on the outside awaiting is Mullen. Receives the handball, and he can send Geelong inside 50. He's got 2 one-on-ones, getting in front. Zerha taking the saving mark in from the side.
And this is where they can't muck around. They've got probably 2 shots on goal, and they're both got to be goals, and they've got to actually have the shots on goal.
Inside 3 minutes remaining. North Melbourne need to get a wriggle on now. Trembath the target outside defensive 50. He'll win a free kick. Ali Dempsey infringed. Kicks it. This hangs it in the air for a little too long, but Blitzarves was a little enthusiastic, knocking it away from Wardlaw, and he gives away the free kick. So still a chance here. North Melbourne, they trail by 8. Short ball inboard from McCurchin was poor. The turnover comes. There's another free kick. Play on advantage, says the umpire. Geelong ball. Myers on the outside. He's at right half forward. A little cheeky one inside. Couldn't hit the target in Henry. Zerha goes in after him. It's dragged in. Umpire hovers. Says, I'll have it, please.
It's actually a free kick against Zerha there. He was on top, tried to bring it into the Geelong player, but he was the one that brought it in.
That's exactly right.
Some dramatic effect as the
bizarre kick by Wardlaw, Mick.
I can't believe it.
Made up his mind. Handball out from Sherry. Here go the Roos off half back, but they're well covered here by Geelong and Guthrie, who picks off the handball, kicks into the pocket, wanted Henry, knocked over and out. It'll be a ball in, 25 metres around from the right hand behind post, Geelong attacking zone.
That kick by Guthrie is superb.
Yeah.
Because it goes out of bounds and gives them time to set the ground up behind the ball now.
North have had the last 3 hand passes, have given the ball back to Geelong instead of kicking the ball into their forward line where they had numbers. It's really bizarre.
Throwing inside forward 50 for the Cats. Bailey Smith, hand pass to Dempsey, hacks a kick towards the goal line. Comben tracks the bounce back, takes it, hand passes it to Zerha, right back pocket. He moves it on to Logue, who's playing with only 1 boot at the moment. He lost his shoe a little while ago, takes 2 bounces through the centre of Docklands and chooses to hand pass to Davies Uniacke. Little hand pass to Darling, who has players all around him, has to hand pass backwards under pressure. Smith just gets a boot on it for Geelong. Close can pick it up. Hand pass to Finn O'Sullivan, who can kick the Cats to centre half forward. Dangerfield's there to collect. Hand pass to Neil from outside 50. We'll just dab this one towards the left forward pocket. Sherry's there and happy to concede it behind.
Paddy Dangerfield again, just his experience, knowing what to do with the ball.
Time a factor now for North Melbourne. Zerha just tries a spiral out of fullback to nobody in particular, but Stewart doing as Tom Stewart has done for 10 seasons, gets across and takes the intercept mark in the middle of Docklands. He'll send Geelong inside 50 once again. Dangerfield the target, then he rises above to take the mark. And Dangerfield will surely ice things now. Inside a minute remaining. And the Cats up by 9. And the old champ can go back and make sure of things. Any score will do as the clock ticks. So the short pass has been completed. Geelong will retain the footy. It'll be Mullen.
Yeah, it just gives... So Dangerfield wastes 15 seconds of his 30. Gives it to Manor, who wastes another 30 seconds. Smart play by the Cats.
So Sean Manor, who's had a pretty good day. 2 goals for him this afternoon. Both in the second term. From just inside 50, he lets fly. Sends it goalward. And he puts the icing on the cake. Umpire signals the goal. Geelong will win by 15 points. And this streak over North Melbourne that started all the way back in 2016 will continue all the way through until 2026. They were challenged, but good teams never die. Geelong by 15.
They certainly were. North Melbourne kicked 7 of the first 8 goals and we're up by 39 points, 30 seconds into the second term. But that's where Geelong hit their straps. The Cats kicked 9 of 11 goals in that second term to be up by 7 at half-time in what was a 46-point turnover by the Cats. By the end of the third term, North Melbourne had worked its way back in front by 1 point, although in the last quarter, Geelong, too strong for their opponent, which is by 15 points.
Throughout the game to fight with all our might, because we're the mighty blue and white. And when the ball is bounced to the final bell, stand up and fight like hell.
So as Chris said, it's the 16th consecutive win for Geelong against North Melbourne, even though the Cats got so close at stages throughout that match and stayed in it in the final term. Ultimately, they went down by 15 points after Sean Manor put through a goal on the final siren. 19-11-125 Geelong winners against North Melbourne. 17-8-110 at Docklands this afternoon. The goal kickers of the match. So 4 goals to Jack Darling. He was picked by Nick Larkey, his captain, who kicked 5 goals. 3 goals to Cooper Trembath. 2 goals to Jai Simpkin. And then there were singles to George Wardlaw, to Zach Banch, to Paul Curtis. And that was all the goal kickers for North Melbourne. And then for Geelong, who had plenty of goal kickers across the afternoon. There were 3 to Jay Polkinghorne, 3 as well to Mark Blitzars, and 3 to Sean Manor, who kicked that final goal there after the siren. 2 goals to Shannon Neal, a couple to Mitch Edwards, 2 to Paddy Dangerfield, the captain, on his return from injury, and then singles to Ollie Dempsey, to Lawson Humphreys, to Brad Close, and to Ollie Henry. So a spread of goal kickers across both teams and across the board, but it is Geelong winners by 15 points after North Melbourne let slip a 39-point lead at the start of the second term, but managed to fight their way back into the game in the final term. The final margin, 15 points. The thoughts of your experts after that match, Mick Moldhouse and Brent Harvey?
Well, I'm still looking at just after quarter time, Geelong had 29 shots for goal to 16. So we can't forget the first quarter. North should never forget the first quarter, because that's the way they would like to play most of their game, I would suspect. Weren't able to maintain it, but full credit to come back and actually, I think they led at 3/4 time there by a point. So that was a fantastic effort in the third quarter, kicking 5 goals. Geelong kicked 3 goals, 6. But overall, you'd say that, I know there's some big high goal kickers. Larkey kicked 5 and Darling kicked 4. Players that probably, Trembo kicked 3 in 1/4. What they probably needed was and I said before about a Curtis kick 1 in the first quarter. It looked dangerous, but really from there on in, just inside him. And I'm wondering whether when you lose a forward and you have the extra back, you can then, take the run, you can protect in the air, you can protect for when you're in a hand pass situation. You know there's going to be that 6th player there all the time, and it puts a lot of pressure on those 5 forwards. You'd hardly suspect that they were a bit without forwards, most of them, because when you've scored 36 goals, if there was a downer in Chris Scott's game, he would say, how did they kick 17 goals 8? How did they get that? Alistair Clarkson would be asking, if we've led by 6 or 7, how did it flip so far the next quarter, and why did it flip? Was it manpower? Was it technique? Did the opposition lift? Well, there's 3 of those things. Yes, they did lift. At technique, I should take technique out. Probably not. But from there on in, Geelong just seemed to have even at 3/4 time, you just felt that they were going to have enough experience to do the right thing at the right time.
Mick,
and that's basically it.
Is it worth saying, after the start of the game, and you're going to tell me that Larkey kicks 5, Darling kicks 4 and Trembath kicks 3, the Kangaroos are probably going to be in the box seat? You look at the stats.
Absolutely.
And don't worry about all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Right there, they kick 12 goals.
Throw Simpkin in there as a midfield kicking 2.
Kick a couple. And North Melbourne don't notoriously get a lot of goals through their midfield.
No.
Then you flip and you say, rightio, Geelong goal kickers, there wasn't somebody that really stood out. I think Manor kicks 3 and Blitzars ends up kicking 3 and Polkinghorne kicks 3. But no
Neil kicking 3.
They had 10 goal kickers.
Yeah.
That's the spread.
That's it.
That's the difference there. North Melbourne relied on a little too few, unfortunately, to kick their score.
Yep.
Geelong spreads it out. Dempsey hits the scoreboard. Their midfielders, they go down. Their manner starts in the middle. He ends up kicking 3. So they're just I think they're got a better spread at the minute. North Melbourne, unfortunately.
Well, we know that.
A little too few.
We've probably known that, Boomer. Look, if we come in today thinking that Geelong would... Well, I thought Geelong would win. And I think 90% of people...
Well, not after the start, though, Mick. 38,
No.
38 point...
I agree with you. I always worry that when a side comes like that and plays it unnaturally out... If it was just the way they normally play, I'd go, wow.
No, you knew. You said it. You said it at quarter time. Your first thing you said is, can they maintain this?
Yeah.
And my answer was, I actually don't know, because I haven't seen them start like that.
That's right.
For so long.
Yep.
And then you look at the second quarter, Mick, and it's 9 goals to 2.
Yeah.
Geelong's favour.
That's right.
And an absolute barrage of 22 inside 50s to 8.
8, yeah.
That's the game right there. You can't give a good team an even break. And that's why I was so conscious of take this thing out of the game.
Yep.
Once they kick the first 2, let's shut it down for 6 or 7 minutes.
There's an old saying, Boomer, is 2 goals in a row is a run-on.
Yep.
Right? So if they kick 2 goals, that's a run-on. So I know what my instructions were, and that's, if I was 100% winning coach, you go, well, I know everything. I don't. You simply don't. But what you say is 2 goals in a row, that's a run-on. So what's the technique? What do we do now? Well, we're going to slow the game down. We've got to score the next goal if we can, or at least score the ball, score a point, or at least have the ball in their forward line so they haven't got the ball in a position where they can score. So you go in a slightly defensive mode. You're able to manipulate where your players play, but you've also got to manipulate how you play. Like, why rush it? Why rush it and then Russian roulette it where they win it, they go back and they kick another goal and you go, wow, that's 3. Then you start looking at the scoreboard. And sides like North Melbourne look at the scoreboard and go, wow, we were 7 in front, now we're only 3 in front, instead of next contest.
Geelong winners by 15 points. Let's join them with Ray Chamberlain.
We play the game as it should be played. No more far away. From North to South,
Bit of a run-of-the-mill singing of the song there, Ray, do you think?
Well, they've taken care of business again, the Cats, and when destiny's in your own hands and you've got the experience that these guys do, that's how they get it done. I'll go and see if I can grab hold of Mark Blitzarves and I'll be back with you shortly.
Sounds good. Yell out when you've got him, Ray. 35,529 here to watch Geelong win by 15 points, 125 to 110. So it means they're a chance of finishing in the top 4. Geelong, based on the live ladder, so Brisbane is taking on the Gold Coast Suns. At the moment, the Lions are leading by 27 points and they're getting to the late stages of their game. So 11-11, 77 the Lions, Gold Coast 6-14, 50. Based on Brisbane winning, Geelong will be in 5th position. Adelaide obviously has already played there, 1 spot below them, and Melbourne another spot below them, all on equal points now. Melbourne to play Port Adelaide a little later on today. So handy to jump back in there to be into the top 6. That's where the Cats are at the moment. They've got Richmond to come next week at Cardinia Park. Geelong winners by 15 points. We can head straight back down to Ray.
Thanks very much, Loz, and I'm very fortunate to be joined by Mr. Plug and Play himself, Mark Blitzarves. Mark, congratulations, 5 on the bounce, 14 wins for the year, and getting the job done today means that, the Cats continue to have their destiny in their own hands when it comes to the top 6. Give us your reflections of the performance today.
Yeah, it's a super important game for us and a great fighting win. North obviously started brilliantly, but the whole way through, there was a couple of times in the 4th quarter I thought, we're away here and we're going to get them, and they just kept plugging away. And really hot contested game and, pretty exciting for the fans. So good to get the win.
Absolutely, and you reference how they, a bit of a slow start. They came out hot, and their attack on the body and the ball was really noticeable. Sort of had a bit of a finals vibe. You rock in at quarter time. Obviously, you get to get amongst regroup. What were the things that shifted for you guys to shift the game back into your control?
Yeah, we just got to stay composed because we know we can turn games like that. But we weren't winning it around the ball, and when we had a chance to get our hands on it, we were a bit fumbly. So and they were really, really clean. So we just wanted to try and make sure if we got it, we were clean with it and getting it out on our own terms. So that was a good regroup in that second quarter, and then from there, obviously, it was just a bit of a shootout at times. But good to get the win.
Now, talk about your own game, all right, mate? You wear many hats in this team, and I think that must keep life interesting for yourself. Lots of versatility in different roles. Today, a little bit of time in the midfield and 3 snags. Where do you enjoy playing most?
I'm liking some of the ruck stuff. I've got the shin guard on today, so Cherry's a big boy, and I didn't want to cop too many knees. So, I'm loving working with, seeing what Mitch Edwards is doing, sort of trying to build chemistry with him, and I thought that contest work and the guys ahead of the ball were able to get some good looks. So, kicked a couple of goals. I tried to absolutely roost that last one. I was so close to hitting the post, which last year, this same game, I missed a sitter, so it would have been 2 in a row, so I'm glad it went through.
Mick, Boomer, a few questions for Mark?
Yeah, I have. Mark, Brent Harvey up here. Congratulations on a fantastic win after a pretty slow start by all accounts. But the Kangas jumped us at the start, and Razor just mentioned then. But I'd love to know, do you guys get the numbers at quarter time? And just so you know, the clearances were 22-5 North Melbourne's way, 7-1 in the centre bounces. Is that something that the midfield coach would give you the numbers, or just say we need to change a few things?
Yeah, we do talk about that. We have a whiteboard with some of the stats, and I mean, you sort of take notice of a lot of them, but there's a couple that, obviously that one was one that really highlighted. So, it's not about, hey, we've got to win clearances here. It's like, how do we do it? Positioning, getting our hands on the ball, securing it, whatever it is, our process. So we just went back to that, put a bit of emphasis, and the aim was to start well. We obviously didn't, but sometimes you can't help it. Other teams just take that away from you, and that's what North did to us early. But keeping composed, we have real trust in this playing group that doesn't matter how much we're down, we can still give it a crack.
And I know Big Trishan Sherry's a hard opponent to come across, and we've all got a lot of respect for him in the competition. But you kicked 3, Edwards kicks 2. Was there a focus on getting forward on him a little bit at all, or that just happened as the game progressed?
Oh, it just happened as the game progressed, I think. The ball moves pretty quick at Marvel, so both myself and Mitchie Edwards were in relatively good positions to influence and take marks. And then, I mean, marking's one thing, then you actually got to put it through, which I struggle with. So both myself and Mitch were able to convert, which is really pleasing.
Mark Blitzarves with us on ABC Sport. You've got, as I mentioned, you've got Richmond coming up next week. You had the Bombers last week. Was it good to have this hit out right now as you get to finals? Is there a benefit to having a game where you're forced to come back from the margin that you were at the start of the second term?
Yeah, I mean, it's cliche to say every game's like that, but it is, because if you don't focus, you can get burnt really early by every team in the comp. So, but yeah, I mean, looking back on that, that is a slogfest of a 4-quarter performance from both teams. It is really good. It felt pretty hot out there, and if you want to say finals like intensity, it's good, and we just keep building, keep working on our own game, recover well each week, and Richmond next. So important game next week.
I just wanted to ask you about one of your other teammates who scored 3 goals tonight in Sean Manor. Obviously, you came off the rookie list. He did a little bit differently as well in being drafted in the regular draft, but coming in at about 26 years of age. Can you just tell us about how he goes about his footy? He's now in his 3rd season, but 3 goals tonight. He had a beautiful assist to Dempsey. It just feels like we would have benefited so much from seeing him 10 years ago.
Well, yeah, that's right, and that's I suppose the good and bad thing about the draft players. Some players miss it, and but yeah, there's obviously other ways through, and the club's been good enough to recognise Shawnee's talents and get him in. So he's making the most of early in his career, and he brings that X factor. I mean, he's obviously a wonderful player, but he brings that X factor. He can change games. He has changed game for us. And when he gets a chance, he majority of the time finishes and kicks the goal. So that's what you need to do, and he's been brilliant.
Mark, thanks so much for your time on ABC Sport after the match. Well done on the win, and good luck next week against the Tigers.
Thanks very much.
So Mark Blitzarves there with us, and Ray Chamberlain down in the winners' rooms. Geelong winners 19-11-125 to North Melbourne 17-8-110 in the match, also running at the same time as us. Brisbane ahead by 37 points now against the Gold Coast Suns, and following us it will be Collingwood and Hawthorn. We'll get you there in about 19 minutes or so time. Big match coming up at the MCG, a double-header it was there after St Kilda defeated Richmond by 49 points a little earlier on in the day. So just looking at a couple of the stats and the way Geelong scored compared to the way North Melbourne scored. So Geelong 14-8 to 8 goals 3 in terms of North Melbourne when it comes to intercept chains, and then Kangaroos were scoring heavily from stoppages. So we mentioned that a lot across the game. 9 goals 5 to 4 goals 3 when it came to stoppages, but Geelong scoring from those intercept chains was really quite evident in that final term.
No, it was, and Geelong seemed to do things a little bit easier. And we spoke about it, Mick, in the last quarter. Everything North Melbourne did, it seemed a little bit hard. And, a little bit of luck involved. When Geelong go forward, it just, I don't know, they look more connected. They started dropping their eyes. And we spoke about what maybe Alistair Clarkson and the coaches at North Melbourne could have done. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat and say to Chris Scott, like after that first quarter, they're 38 points down. Then the next quarter, they go and have 33 uncontested marks to 7. Yeah. They changed the game. They changed the way they played. So I think sometimes you got to tip your hat to the opposition coach, and I think today North Melbourne probably need to do that.
Hey, Boomer, as a North Melbourne man and somebody who watches them as closely as anybody in the country, are you sensing that hope now? Because you had the 16-point loss to Hawthorn down in Launceston. You had the win last week against the Doggies. You're up by 40 points today. We saw it even earlier in the year down at Cardinia Park where North Melbourne kept in touch and then it blew out to a 55-point victory, or I think it was. But chances to win the game late today. Are you just starting to sense some hope for this team and that it's about to crack? The dam wall is about to finally crack.
I am. There's two sides of me. Yeah. And it's a bit weird, to be honest with you, because I say, rightio, we're 38 points up. At quarter time, you win that game.
Yep.
Good teams, just win that game, Mick. There's not too many times you're 40 points up at quarter time and you end up losing the game. We did that to Essendon. We're about 68 points up, I think, that day. And I played, that was quite bizarre.
Boomer, what do you reckon? You watch it really closely. You got your son, who's been in and out of the side, who incidentally has played some terrific football this year. What do they lack? What's if you said you the type of player that you would like that's out there at the moment? Well, perhaps we look at the Geelong. Is it a Dempsey? Is it a Neil? Well, you won't know because of Larky. Is it a Stewart? What sort of player do you reckon they need most?
Right now, everybody looks and from afar they say a key back, right? But I can argue with that. The opposition's had 65 inside 50s against you. Yep. To your 45. That's 20 more opportunities for every forward on the ground to take another clunk. Yep. There's no pressure on it coming through the midfield. So from afar, people say another key back. I'm not 100% sure about that. I think we lack a bit of polish.
Yep.
I think the kicking that, and I know you said Caleb Daniel today kept the ball in his area and did a few things like that. We lack a polished player.
A Dempsey?
A Dempsey on the wing that can run up and down but use the ball when he gets it. Maybe another half-backer that can use the ball. I would argue that we have got players on our list that can potentially do that. So that's probably what I see. I think with Trembath coming in, I think they found the other forward. How long... who else kicked the goals today?
Darling kicked
how long Darling can play for us? Another year, definitely next year, I would think. But then after that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it another key forward? But from afar and watching so closely, I do think we lack a little bit of polish with the ball in hand.
Yeah. There are a couple of moments, Boomer, to that point where I think it might have been Logue or Core missed a really easy kick in the D50 and then everybody had run forward. Geelong turned the ball over and they've got a man in space, and then there was one late with Zerha who took a really good defensive mark, missed Colby McKercher 20 metres sideways and forced the pressure, and then it was Polkinghorn who got onto the end of one. And that's the 2 goals. That's almost the game.
That's it right there. And you can't defend it because when you see someone in space, what you're doing as a player, you're reading the cue off him. Okay, I can't get this one. But I'm going to get
next roll.
Not the next one, but maybe the next one. So you start making your play, and it's just a turnover kick that an under 10 player should hit. Turns over, you're in complete out of position, and then you get scored against in transition.
And it's simple to say, but that's the difference between the good kicking team. Say a Hawthorn, you've got a player sort of at half forward when the ball's at half back because the player knows that it's going to get there because the kicks are so good.
You think Nick Watson errs on the side of caution?
Yeah.
No, he sees D'Ambrosio get the ball and goes, I'm going inside 50, even though they're 120 metres away, because he knows that's hitting a target. That's probably going to come inside. They're getting the handball receive, and the ball's going to be there. The good players can do that 3 or 4 possessions ahead of time.
And what's happening to Burma? We look at Josh Dacos, for instance. Collingwood went out of their way to get Houston. You're looking at a player on the back line that's got one ball getting skills. Ability, rather, ball getting ability. Got to win one-on-one. Yeah. But probably more importantly now, has to, kicks the ball between 15 to 55 to 60. What North Melbourne have got on their back line are players that kick the ball 15 to 30. It doesn't clear the area. It doesn't get you into that next zone. That's why Dacos, and I'm not talking about Nick, I'm talking about Josh. I talk about if you look at even Port Adelaide have got a couple of backs that they can whack at 60 metres. Now, it's just as they get overwhelmed with they lack a lot more players. But if you don't have players that can clear that line in front and also take the advantage of you come out, you're the first one to receive the football. So you receive it in about 45 metres, you run 15 metres, and then you go bang to a winger on the slide or a half forward coming up, and that's that total. The time he's come up and marked it and come and met the football, you're looking at 60-plus metres on the kick. If it only goes 30 metres, you're still in trouble. You're still in that little area where, if you might lose. So there's no question when you have a look at, say, Dale of the Dogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you're able to run the football, it's gold in their hands.
And you look at Wilmot, you look at Zorko, you look at Brisbane, the way they play off half back.
Yep.
They don't miss targets.
They don't miss targets, but they also have got the capacity to go that 55 to 60 metres and hit the target, hit the open target. They're so dangerous because how do you defend it? You go, I'm going to stand 10 yards in front. Well, that could go, mate. I'm going to stand 10 yards behind. You're going to get me on the lead up. I'm going to go shoulder to shoulder. He just cuts left, and all of a sudden that ball's out in front. You're spot on.
You don't get the chance to set the ground up because the ball's still somewhat in your area, whether it's 40 or 50 metres away. When the ball's further than 70 and maybe 80 metres away, you can start being a bit more proactive, Mick.
Yeah.
Because you're 2 possessions away from where the ball's going to go.
Yeah.
If you kick at 30 and miss it, it's literally impossible to defend that on turnover.
Yeah, and if I could just add on to that, now I know my man, I really like Curtis.
Yes.
But when you get denied the ball coming from... So one of the things about him, he can jump over you and take a big mark, but he's also good on the hit-up. But when that ball doesn't get into that area of 20 yards in front of you, then you're in no man's land. And so there you've been denied that. And good sides will put pressure on sides like North Melbourne to keep the ball in the back half so until they turn it over. And when they turn it over, of course, it doesn't matter how good your forwards are, they're not getting it. And that's where I say about a bloke like, I said Dale and I said Dacos. And Houston hasn't measured up what he was, but he's still a very good penetrating kick. What they do, you can hit up from the forward pocket and mark the ball in the half-forward line because you know that he's coming off the half-back line and kick the ball 60 metres or 55 metres. And then all of a sudden you're away from your man. Your man's going, well, there's a long way in front, so they ease off you.
Do you think Alistair Clarkson should have done something different with Paul Curtis in the last quarter then? He kicked one across the match, 1 goal, 11 touches.
It's hard for me to say what he should have done. I just thought that, given that Sheasel was out, that Curtis is such a one-touch player and a tough player that a 5-minute cameo, you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
5 minutes is not going to lose you the game. 5 minutes is... he could peel a couple off the forward line. The danger is... if you put him in there, well, he's not in your forward line. Well, he wasn't doing it on the forward line anyway. So, therefore, give him a chance either behind the ball or at the ball because you know a couple of things. He won't take his eyes off it. He's a one-touch player. He's left foot up, so you're going to, straight away you've got that little bit of a lean, and he's a penetrating kick. So maybe they missed an opportunity perhaps in today's game to put him up against the side who were basically going, they went one-on-one, with their better players as well. So you could take Smith on, perhaps.
Where do you have Geelong in the premiership race, Mick?
Oh, I think they're up there. That game last night was a ripping game. Fremantle Adelaide was an absolute cracker game. If you're going to judge football, that you go and judge it on that sort of game. I still think Fremantle are in the box seat if they can win their first final because they get the second one and pre them. Who knows who they play? Right now, we're looking at them playing Brisbane or Hawthorn or Sydney or Adelaide or Melbourne. Geelong they're going to go in front of Adelaide. But Fremantle, Sydney, there's something that Sydney tells me that they're just probably a goal or two off. The Hawks need it all their own way. Brisbane, how do you ride off 2-time?
You can't.
Adelaide on last night are probably better than what they were late last year. I know it's a big statement, but they're better because of only what I saw last night. I just think that they have turned a corner. I called them pretty soft a couple of weeks ago.
You did.
And what's happened since, you just notice that their players, it's not soft that they won't go get the hard ball. It's soft looking at the scoreboard. They look at that and go, oh, God, they're coming at us, and what do we do? No, you got to live the moment in football. You can't live 10 minutes in front of you and no use living what's behind you. So that throws Geelong in there. But you know who could be the real smoky in all this? Melbourne.
Yes.
You reckon they're good enough, Mick?
Oh, well, they've proven they can beat. They've proven they can
want to get
beat
them on
good
the
sides.
MCG, would you? You just wouldn't want to get them on the G. They literally, they beat Freo last week. They've beaten Hawthorn there.
And in a ripping game. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't. They didn't win that game because Fremantle played poor football. They beat them at the source.
It's an amazing story if they do. Even get there or get really deep. I think it's amazing.
Boomer, if I tell you that a new coach, you lose Petrarca,
Oliver's out.
You lose Oliver, and we're saying to you it's a different sort of game plan and all that sort of stuff, you'd be going, yeah, Mick, okay, they'll finish ninth. They may get into the
May, who was a solid fullback last
May's
year.
a fullback. They may get into that stupid round that we call the Royal. You know?
That stupid round that North Melbourne's not going to make now, though.
No,
can't make it now.
They can't make it. What would you have said at the start of the year? Was that their aim, wild card for North Melbourne? Looking at, I guess, from an outside person.
From me, from a supporter.
Well, yeah, you know what? From you, yeah, as a
From a
supporter. Let's
supporter?
go with your...
I would have said, so we win 5.5 games last year, and you say we're going to win 9 this year, because I think...
Which is where you're
Sydney
sitting.
next week, I think. So let's just call it 9 wins. You say improvement. If I go back 4 years ago and say Alistair Clarkson's taken over, and in his 4th year, we're going to introduce a top 10, not a top 8, and you're not going to make it, I would say disappointing.
Yeah.
So...
It's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
You're looking at it as an overall...
I'm looking at it as a 4-year block rather than a 5.5 game win last year to a 9 game win this year. And I'm a realist. I look at football. I'm a footy nerd. I look at it all the time. We had a soft draw. But you can only beat who you can beat, by the way. So I'm not knocking anything. We did have a soft draw. We played the 4 bottom teams twice. Beat Carlton and also beat Gold Coast on the back of the Darwin.
Does it give you a sense of optimism as to how quickly things can change? Because we've seen Melbourne, we all had them pegged sort of mid-table, bottom rungs, but they make a few adjustments. They lose a couple of stars, but they get somebody like Tom Sparrow in who rolls his sleeves up and they're better defensively and all of these things. And then we've seen Carlton change the coach and all of a sudden they're top 3 since round whenever. It can happen in season.
Absolutely.
It can happen in the space of a week.
I'm not sure I actually answered your question, the other question before, around... do I see improvement? Absolutely. And I end up talking about a negative because we're 38 points up. And I'm disappointed as a supporter. But we are in games longer.
Yeah.
There is no doubt. And teams don't look at us and go, oh, it's North Melbourne, let's just have a couple of of people out or anything like that. They look now and go, they're good. And midfield's good. The forwards can kick a score. Backs still get too much inside 50 against them, but that's not the back's fault. So there is an improvement because we're in games for longer. We're not getting belted by 100 points last year to the Cats. So yes, there is improvement by the way as well. Lots of young good kids.
Just on that Melbourne and Carlton, just quickly before we wrap up, and without sort of going too much in on Clarkson, but the tweaking the coach just can change everything, can't it? And not saying that Clarkson's done a bad job per se, but Carlton make the change, Melbourne make the change, and all of a sudden it just flips on its head.
Yeah, and you don't know what the right answer is. You're not going to go and sack your coach every single time so we can get a new coach in and hopefully things flip because we've seen in history it doesn't work like that sometimes either. We're looking at a couple of really good cases this year in Fraser and King obviously got appointed last year. So I'm not saying that's the answer that you get rid of your coach and bring a new coach in. Clarko's still got a year left on his contract and for sure he'll fulfil that. That's no drums. And you know what? His future probably depends on how we go next year. If we are 8-2 at halfway, they're signing Clarkson up. If we're 2-8, it's probably a different discussion. And I'm that far removed from that sort of stuff. I've got no idea. I'm literally always talking as a spectator.
Watching it from afar.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is Geelong winners by 15 points here at Docklands. We'll get you to the MCG in just a moment, but we need to get the ABC Footballer of the Year votes. I think that might be you, Boomer Harvey, sitting
Yes. No, me and Mick have been sort of half discussing while we're talking at the same time. We went one with big Blitzarves. We thought he was fantastic. Kicked 3 goals in the end, 18 disposals and 6 score involvements. 2, Ollie Dempsey. It's actually great to be here live watching him, Mick. If you're watching on TV.
187, by the way, he is.
187.
So, you know...
it's amazing,
just
isn't it?
that height, just that inch and a half bit. You know, he can take marks both ends of the ground.
No, he's fantastic. And you see him in the back pocket on TV, you see him in the forward pocket in 15 seconds later. It was great to be here today. He had 24 disposals, kicked the goal, probably should have kicked 2, 9 inside 50 and 10 score involvements. It's a bloody good game.
Yeah,
so he got the 2. But I actually thought when they... who'd they lose? Manor had to come in the midfield. Warple
and
so Manor had to come in the midfield a little bit. He ended up with 20 touches, just hits the scoreboard and doesn't miss. 3 goals. 8 inside 50s. He did a fair bit today. I thought he was fantastic.
They all counted.
The thing I like about him, there's no wasted possessions. He's 20 possessions. He picks up the ball and he's going 100 mile an hour, still with the ability to hit someone and find someone. So I thought he was fantastic today, and I gave him the 3 votes.
So Sean Manor 3, Ollie Dempsey 2, and Mark Blitzarves 1 as Geelong are winners by 15 points here at Docklands. We'll get to the MCG in about 2 minutes or so time, where Collingwood are taking on Hawthorn. The two sides drew earlier on in the season, so a highly anticipated matchup here. A late change in that match. Still Sidebottom is out with illness, so after announcing his retirement this week.
Is that right?
Yep. Harvey Harrison comes in for him. So Hawthorn, Collingwood, who wins tonight?
I think Hawthorn are the best kicking team in the competition, Chris. I said that the other week when we did the Kangas and Hawks out in Tassie. I don't think that changes. I don't know if Collingwood can kick a big enough score against the Hawks. That's my worry.
I'm with you. We've seen fluctuations with... we watched Brisbane down here get smashed by someone. Was it Melbourne?
Carlton.
Carlton.
Yeah, Carlton.
Go up there and they smashed Hawthorn. So, it's hard. You can't pick week in, week out results. What you got to do is over the journey. I think Hawthorn are a bit more consistent.
Agree.
All right, well, there we go. We'll wrap things up here at Docklands, where Geelong are winners by 15 points. A big thank you to Chris Rowbottom coming up from Tasmania, to Razor Ray Chamberlain umpiring in the AFLW, then doubling up on the boundary for us, to Boomer Harvey, to Mick Malthouse as our ABC sport experts, to Stu Birchmore pressing the buttons at the back of the box, and to Craig Davis as well in the studio. Thanks for all your support across the afternoon. Geelong winners here at Docklands, 19-11-125 to North Melbourne, 17-8-110. 3 votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year award to Sean Manor. He kicked 3 today. So did Mark Blitzarves, and so did Jay Polkinghorn as well for Geelong. But there were 5 to Nick Larkey on the opposing side of things. It was North Melbourne up by 39 points at the start of the second term. They just weren't able to hang on, and it was in that second quarter where Geelong fought back. A 46-point turnaround meant that they were able to eventually win by 15 points. It means Geelong is still in shot for a top 4 finish, as they move to 14 wins and 8 losses for the season. Cats winners by 15 points at Docklands. Will now send you down the road to the MCG. It was a doubleheader at the G. St Kilda won earlier on today, but it is now Hawthorn and Collingwood coming up. Massive match there. We'll pass you across to your call team. Matt Clinch, Clint Wheeldon, Adam Ramanauskas, Daniel Harford and Tim Hodges